Uncover a world of hidden gems in Carlow when you wander off the track. Take the path less trodden through the timeless and unspoiled Carlow landscape, where every picturesque village, sleepy nook, meandering river bend and rolling valley holds another treasure trove of hidden gems just waiting to be discovered. Hear the land whisper with colourful tales of our people, past and present. Feel the mystery and magic that surrounds Carlow. Lose yourself in fascinating histories of astounding buildings, grand country houses and gardens, and diverse characters as you uncover epic tales. Feel the worries of the world float away as you explore the captivating landscapes of the River Barrow, one of Ireland's longest river systems. You won't believe what stunning artistic and cultural surprises are waiting for you to discover here. There's something wonderful waiting for you in Carlow when you wander off the track. Feel inspired, feel charmed, feel free. Uncover a world of hidden gems in Carlow when you wander off the track. Carlow is a treasure trove of wonderful gardens to visit. Explore ancient paths, lovely lawns, vibrant flower beds, walled and sensory gardens, along with award-winning garden centres on the Carlow Garden Trail. What makes this garden trail so unique is the range of large and small gardens which are lovingly cared for, with ideas to take home at every turn, and the amazing plants, shrubs and trees that grow here. Marvel at the stunning architecture and extravagant interiors of Carlow's great houses and ancestral homes, and hear the wonderful stories of the families who inhabited them. You do not have to be a gardener to get pleasure and enjoyment from the Carlow Garden Trail. There's something for everyone, young and old, to discover in Carlow when you wander off the track. Plan your trip now by visiting www.carlowgardentrail.com. Uncover a world of hidden gems in Carlow when you wander off the track. Carlow has no shortage of stories to tell, with treasures of our past just waiting to be discovered. Explore awe-inspiring monuments and ancient ecclesiastical sites. Take in the stunning views of mountains, valleys and vales, and uncover some surprises along the way. Discover towns and villages with history around every corner, and hear the land whisper stories of times gone by. Lose yourself in the fascinating heritage of astounding buildings and diverse characters as you uncover epic tales weaving through time. However you wish to explore, there's something wonderful waiting for you in Carlow when you wander off the track. Feel inspired, feel charmed, feel free. The magnificent Blackstairs Mountains, the perfect backdrop for a range of superb walks to suit all levels, from the long-distance South Leinster Way to a range of looped walks. Take the path less trodden through a timeless and unspoiled mountain landscape. The range of walking trails here provide the perfect opportunity to enjoy the challenges of Carlow's mountain treks or the peace of its woodland walks. Discover signposted trails in Kilbranish Forest, north and south, at the Scrathose Bridge, suitable for all to enjoy. Immerse yourself in thousands of years of history and heritage. Uncover ancient standing stones, rock art, raths, dolmens and old settlements, while also offering fantastic views of the entire southeast region and further afield. Hear the land whisper with colourful tales of our people, past and present, making every visit to the Blackstairs Mountains a true highlight for walkers, hikers, nature lovers, bird watchers and hang gliders. However you wish to explore, there's something wonderful waiting for you in Carlow when you wander off the track. For further information, please visit www.carlowtourism.com. Feel inspired, feel charmed, feel free. Uncover a world of hidden gems in Carlow when you wander off the track. Carlow is a treasure trove of wonderful gardens to visit. Explore ancient paths, lovely lawns, vibrant flower beds, walled and sensory gardens, along with award-winning garden centres on the Carlow Garden Trail. What makes this garden trail so unique is the range of large and small gardens which are lovingly cared for, with ideas to take home at every turn, and the amazing plants, shrubs and trees that grow here. Marvel at the stunning architecture and extravagant interiors of Carlow's great houses and ancestral homes, and hear the wonderful stories of the families who inhabited them. You do not have to be a gardener to get pleasure and enjoyment from the Carlow Garden Trail. There's something for everyone, young and old, to discover in Carlow when you wander off the track. Plan your trip now by visiting www.carlowgardentrail.com.
Hey, yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. Hey, let's see how you do under pressure. Give them a name to remember. Hey, a moment can live on forever.
Uncover a world of hidden gems in Carlow when you wander off the track. Take the path less trodden through the timeless and unspoiled Carlow landscape, where every picturesque village, sleepy nook, meandering riverbend and rolling valley holds another treasure trove of hidden gems just waiting to be discovered. Hear the land whisper with colourful tales of our people, past and present. Feel the mystery and magic that surrounds Carlow. Lose yourself in fascinating histories of astounding buildings, grand country houses and gardens, and diverse characters as you uncover epic tales. Feel the worries of the world float away as you explore the captivating landscapes of the River Barrow, one of Ireland's longest river systems. You won't believe what stunning artistic and cultural surprises are waiting for you to discover here. There's something wonderful waiting for you in Carlow when you wander off the track. Feel inspired, feel charmed, feel free. Uncover a world of hidden gems in Carlow when you wander off the track. Carlow has no shortage of stories to tell, with treasures of our past just waiting to be discovered. Explore awe-inspiring monuments and ancient ecclesiastical sites. Take in the stunning views of mountains, valleys and vales, and uncover some surprises along the way. Discover towns and villages with history around every corner, and hear the land whisper stories of times gone by. Lose yourself in the fascinating heritage of astounding buildings and diverse characters as you uncover epic tales weaving through time. However you wish to explore, there's something wonderful waiting for you in Carlow when you wander off the track. Feel inspired, feel charmed, feel free.
remember. Hey, a moment can live on forever.
A very good afternoon and welcome once again here to the Snooker Billiards Ireland Academy of Excellence in Carlow for the final of the Macau Casino World Match Play for 2026. We've had an amazing 4 or 5 days here watching the finest billiard players from all over the world fighting out to see who will get to lift the trophy. It's been an amazing time. The tables have been great. The welcome in Carlow has been great. And I want to say a big thank you to Snooker Billiards Ireland, and would you please welcome to say a few words on behalf of Snooker Billiards Ireland, its president, Mr. Jim Lacey. What's it meant to have us here?
It's been great, and we're delighted to welcome all the billiard players. We're delighted to welcome World Billiards here, and we hope that we will be able to continue for many years to come. I think you and me have worked very well together, and we've made sure we can accommodate everyone as we can, and hopefully we won't have any conflicts in the world next year. That would be my wish, and that we will get a bigger field of entries here going forward. But we look forward to a great final, and we look forward to seeing you all here again next year.
And just following on then, tomorrow we have the IBSF World Championships as well.
That starts tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and it will run on till Tuesday. And again, we will play the round robin matches over Saturday and Sunday, and the knockouts on Monday, and the semi-finals and final on Tuesday. So again, it promises to be a feast of billiards for anyone that wants to watch.
And fingers crossed, and we won't hold you to this, but you're hoping to expand here in the Centre of Excellence.
Yes, our plans, Dylan Rees, our Vice Chairman, who is in the building trade, has had a look at what is necessary, what we need to do to install 2 additional tables and create a new block of toilets and improve the facilities here. So that's the plan over the summer months. We hope to get that one done. And we've had, great support from Sport Ireland and the Dormant Accounts funding and different streams that we've managed to get funding to be able to do that work.
Well, wearing your 2 hats, on behalf of WBL, can I say thank you, Jim Lacey, from SBI as president, but also with your work with the IBSF. Thank you for the cooperation. It has meant the world to us. Jim Lacey, ladies and gentlemen. And so to our final. 2 of the world's finest players ever. One man returning after a 10-year absence from the WBL stage, and we're absolutely thrilled to have him here. Before I introduce him fully, let me tell you that your officials for the final, first of all, our marker from England, Mr. Steve Harrison. Thank you, Steve. And the man who, if he gets a badge for this tournament, will have another badge to put on his overweight jacket already, of course. It's Kevin Christie from Ireland. So, a man who breezed more or less through his semi-final with a 7-2 victory over Rob Marshall, playing the most exquisite top of the table that you will ever see. His use of little bits of running side just to glance the object ball behind the red spot is just phenomenal to watch, and hopefully we will see some examples of that. He is an absolute genius. He has the touch of a master. He is one of the great gods of Q Sports, from Qatar but from Middlesbrough originally. We are thrilled, honoured, humbled and privileged to have in our midst, ladies and gentlemen, the brilliant Mike Russell. And I don't know if other people from Middlesbrough have 9 lives as a cat, but this man has used up about 7 of them this week already, having got through a very tough quarter-final to get over the line. And in his semi-final, he managed to defeat the wonderful, brilliant Mr. Peter Gilchrist. At one stage he was 4-1 down, then he was 5-3 down, then it was level at 6-all, and he managed to knock out an amazing 85 and then get over the line to win 7-6. He's the defending champion. In fact, I've been getting the trophy engraved every year in Dublin with Fergal O'Brien's wonderful dad Fergus, who's closing shop after 60 years in Cable Street, so he will be a great loss to the trophy business in Dublin. And he just said, well, I put the same name on. I said, well, so far it's been this man for the last 4 or 5 years. A quick scorer, but also I think he's shown great courage and great perseverance and great calm under pressure to do it when you have to do it, when you're walking across a tightrope over Niagara Falls with no safety net. Boy, do you need to go back to your reserves of practice and knowing what you're doing. It's going to be a fantastic final between the brilliant the great Mr. Mike Russell, and this man, Mr. David Causier, who last smiled in 1984. Right, this is a best of 15 match. We will take a break after 6 games, so I'm going to hand you over to our referee. Enjoy the game, make sure your phones are on silent. We are privileged to watch 2 of the greatest players play the beautiful game. Our finalists.
First game, Dave Causier to play.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the SBI Academy here in Carlow, the headquarters of Snooker and Billiards Ireland. It is the final of the Macau Casino World Matchplay Championship, and we've got a fantastic match coming up for you. Best of 15 games, 100 up format using the modified rules, and we've got the man at the table there, Mike Russell, 18 times a world champion, and he is back in the sport, having not played competitively since 2019, and it's fantastic to see him here. His opponent is David Causier. As Angus mentioned in the introduction, he has won this championship every year since 2022 here in Carlow at the SBI Academy, and he has also won many other world championships in various formats. Of course, he is the current long format world champion and the current world #1 as well. We're going to have a range of commentators during this final, and alongside myself, Chris Coombe, is Darren Clark. And welcome, Darren, and what's your thoughts on this match, having watched both players closely during the last few days?
Yeah, thanks, Chris. What an absolute fantastic matchup. 2 of my heroes, I guess, obviously being from Teesside, playing in the Teesside Boys Billiards League. Looked up to these guys when I was a kid. Likes of Peter Gilchrist as well, obviously. But it's great to see Mike playing again. His touch is just absolutely effortless. Plays the game slightly different from everybody else, and we're in for a real treat, I think.
Causier has had 2 deciding game finishes on the way to the final. He defeated Peter Gilchrist 7-6 a few hours ago in a really exciting semi-final, and in the quarterfinals Causier beat Peter Sheehan 6 games to 5, and he came back into the match on both of those occasions and took the victory when it really looked like he was in danger of being defeated. Mike Russell defeated Robert Marshall 7-2 in the semi-final, and Russell had a close finish himself in the quarterfinals, defeating Pankaj Advani of India 6 games to 5. So going by those matches, we could be in for another close final, but I'm sure the quality will be outstanding.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see lots of unfinished breaks, obviously lots of top of the table play. But again, fantastic. 2 Cumin here in action at the SBI in Carlow, Ireland. Mike just plays that in off red to try and bring it down towards the middle pocket. Kevin Christie looks on, the referee from Ireland. There's a good crowd of people in watching, as has been all week. So it's a best of 15 game, and it's the first to 8. Obviously takes the title, World Matchplay Champion, Macau Casino. Do let us know in the comments your predictions, who you think's going to get to that elusive number first. But it's great to see Mike playing again, Chris.
It is, and his concentration, his touch at the table looks just as it was a few years back when he was competed more frequently.
He's obviously been putting the hours in. I guess there was a slight question mark about sort of match play and the practice, having missed competitive play for so long.
Mike is based in Qatar, as he has been for a number of years.
27.
I understand he works at the academy and does a lot of coaching, so even though he's not played competitively, I think he would have still been playing, but of course that's very different to competing in this environment, and I'm sure he's enjoying this again, being back. Of course, Mike first appeared in the World Championship final in 1989, so it just goes to show how long he has been at the top of this sport.
Yeah, you could certainly say that he's been there and done that, got the t-shirt as it were, and he's called upon that experience across the week. Just look to drop these two balls down to the top of the table. So it's the first big chance now for Mike to take an early lead. Two quite contrasting styles.
27.
I think Mike himself once described, after, was it a final in Leeds, Chris? Mozart versus Beethoven? Metallica, that was it, wasn't it? Metallica versus Beethoven, which is quite a comparison.
Yeah, Mike has such precision, especially at the top end of the table. You watch him play and his concentration looks so intense, and he can be furious with himself for being millimetres out of position. Obviously he's well capable at all aspects of the game, open play of course, but this is where his big breaks are made, whereas Causier, obviously we know, is an incredible scorer. He has made 1,000 breaks, as has Mike Russell, but perhaps more of an open game. Clearly he could stay at the top for long periods, but I think they both have slightly different approaches, perhaps slightly different shot selection in certain situations.
47.
Yeah, Dave often plays with a bit more pace, as you say, Chris. I think people often look at Dave's game and think that he gets a lot of run, a lot of luck, I guess, but
49.
you can't consistently do that. There has to be some intent there. Obviously the guy, he's a genius really. He's a modern great of the game, and we'll see. I'm sure we'll see some fantastic shots during this final. As the break crosses 50.
But I enjoyed watching Mike's matches up close and just seeing his incredible touch and the way he gets through the ball. Very light grip.
You can't help but learn from him. I've certainly learned a few things this week watching him, as you say, up close. How sort of softly he hits the ball. He's got the ability to get a great amount of side or screw on the ball with very little effort, without hitting it hard. So he's able to keep those balls really under control.
3.
He also has a very similar rhythm on every shot, doesn't he? 2 or 3 feathers,
65.
smooth backswing, pause, or deliver. Very consistent. But as you can see, he's unhappy with how that ended up. He's got a cover, which is when the
7.
balls are lined up. He was able to get the cannon there, as you can see, but this has gone a little bit awkward. And even such a simple shot as that, those can easily spring off the top cushion when the red is so close to it. This has gone further than he wanted. He's going to have to play a short Jenny now into the middle pocket and then off with lots of right hand side, gently.
Yeah, he's just caught the knee jaw. Really tough shots on these tables. I think that previous shot though, it showed how fast these tables are, and how tricky it is to keep hold of the balls. which makes it all the more impressive when you watch Mike play. There's an example of one of Dave's shots. Lots happening, but they just seem to fall in the right places.
Yeah, even for somebody of Dave's calibre, it wasn't really possible to control that cannon and know exactly where all 3 balls are going to finish. But that's a great recovery cannon, isn't it, Darren, to keep this visit going?
Yeah, he often does this. He kind of, let's say, scratches around for a few shots, looking for that opening, and then before we know it, it'll be show time, top of the table, bish bash bosh, 1-0. That's what he'll be thinking. Obviously Mike's hoping not. He's come to the table and he's 70 points to 0 down. And he'll be looking to settle himself down. Obviously this is the first time that he's played Mike in a long time. A great rivalry, I would guess. Many would say Dave's kind of moved into that position. One of the very top players in the world, alongside the likes of Pankaj and Peter Gilchrist. But this is a big moment for Dave, really, to play Mike in such a big event in the final. And they'll be wanting to put on a good show. So he's just dropped that yellow there to try and leave the enough yellow in the top right pocket as we look. He maybe bring that either round to the middle pocket or drop it down straight away down to the top.
26.
That looks to have just gone far enough, I think, for the yellow, although it looks quite thin. Yeah, this pot into the middle with the red is not easy at all. Not as easy as it looks. These middle pockets are very tight, but it's probably the much less risky option, isn't it, to get to the top via the in-off and then the pot red, rather than playing a drop cannon.
Yeah, drop cannon can be a lottery. But like you say, Chris, that pot red into the middle, people will look at that and think it's an easy shot, but it's not. You know, we're not looking at a lot of pocket. Obviously Dave's knocked it in and this is a really big chance for him now. The yellow is just off to the left, so he'll be trying to get that a bit closer to the red.
38.
Yeah, still a lot of work to do, but if Causier can win this first game, especially after Mike was in a winning position, that will give him a boost at the start of this match and could potentially play on the mind of Mike Russell.
He's just unfortunate there to leave the touching ball. So obviously the balls need to be respotted, otherwise he could just fire his cue ball straight into a pocket for the in-off.
42.
These aren't easy. Putting this red into a bit of a blind pocket, but no issues there.
Yeah, we're playing on the star table. There's 4 star tables here in the academy, and it's a strawn superfine cloth, and they're very responsive, very quick. The cue ball can skid a lot off the cushion and after striking the object ball, so it certainly takes some adapting for players that are less familiar with these conditions. That could have gone awkward. If the red went in, he may have had an awkward cover, it would appear, but with the red dropping over the middle like that, he was able to easily get in off it. He knows the yellow is in a position where he can go in off it from hand. He can do the same for the red as well if he wants to, so He'll be disappointed if he doesn't run out from here.
54.
Yeah, he didn't really want that red dropping in. So a little bit of pressure on this pot red. Dave's a great potter, just knocks it in. The break goes to 62, 100 being the target.
And we should say, if there are any viewers who are less familiar with billiards, then please look at our YouTube channel. There is a video explaining the rules of billiards. It's called How Billiards is Played, English Billiards that is, and it will tell you everything you need to know about the methods of scoring. But this match play event is played using modified rules, which comes into force when a player pots their opponent's ball, and what happens when that player comes back to the table,
72.
mainly to encourage more positive play and less safety, and specifically the pot white and double bulk sequence is eliminated. But we'll talk about that, I'm sure, when it arises. But of course we've got two very attacking players here in the fun, as you would expect, and Causier is still going here. Gone into the open now in terms of his break. That just creeped in there, but he'll be getting a bulk line warning very shortly, where he will need to send his ball across the bulk line between 80 and 100 in this break if he progresses that far.
78.
Yeah, and he just needs to cross into balk. Doesn't need to come in and out, Chris. But Dave will just knock this red down now to leave a drop cannon.
Warning at 8. 83.
Yeah, the bulk line crossing rule is not applied in all events. It's mainly the World Championship events and higher level events, but just provides an extra degree of challenge, and it can cause breaks to come to an end, and it can change outcomes of games as well if that happens, especially in this level, when one mistake can lead to the game being over.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to use the pancake method, Chris. 2 off the spot, up to the middle. I think that's what he's tried. He's not got enough side on his cue ball, so he still needs to cross the balk line.
97.
That's a clever way of doing it, isn't it, to actually send the red towards the bulk pocket.
So pot cannon, I think. Has he got the cannon?
99.
Yes.
Offline cross.
Yeah, great shot there. Crossed the bulk line, of course, through default by playing into bulk. Had the cannon as insurance in case he missed the pot, but he scored and followed it up with another cannon, so that's
4.
and a red as well, so that's 104 unfinished. The highest break in this event is actually 105 at the moment, which has been made by 3 different players.
Second game. Point Russell to play.
But Dave Causier won't be worried too much about that. He'll be just pleased to have got the opening game on the boards.
I think, Chris, that's an example of the standard that it's been. Obviously Mike's had a 70 there in a 100 up game. Dave's come to the table, made 101 unfinished. Oh, 104 unfinished, as it were. The red obviously dropped in. That is the level that you need to achieve to win this tournament.
Mike's played a good break there. He's got his cue ball, the yellow, very close to the side cushion, and the red away from the bulk pocket.
Yeah, under normal rules, the shot would have been there just to roll Mike's cue ball towards his bottom right pocket. Obviously, you can't do that. If that would have dropped in, and Dave double balked Mike could have shot behind for the first visit, for the first shot. So it changes the dynamic a bit at the beginning of the match.
Of course, the other break-off that we have seen, especially from Peter Gilchrist, is to attempt to double bulk your opponent off the break-off, which is to send your cue ball and the red into bulk. And with the way that the modified rules work, the incoming player then has to play out of bulk, and they have to try and disturb the balls, else it will be a foul and their opponent can have the ball spotted. And I know that might sound difficult to visualise, but if that shot does occur, we can see it in action. Although I don't think Dave Causier or Mike Russell have been playing that break off to try and double bulk their opponent and get the advantage straight away. They've been playing the more traditional style shot.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where if it goes well, fantastic. You've got your opponent on the back foot. But if you don't quite get enough on it naturally, you're going to leave both balls in likely to be a sort of easy scoring area of the table, around the middle pockets or just outside of balk. But a good start for Dave. That first game victory will have settled his nerves.
He played the screw cannon. I think he would have preferred to hit the other side of the red there, but he may still have a run through cannon. It looks like the balls are lined up, and in fact that was the case, so having to play safe. We may see a little period of safety play here with the red being where it is. Until such time that either player feels that it's worth going for a cannon. But like you say, Darren, in a normal format event, you would generally see a player pot their opponent's ball if the opportunity arises and then play a double bulk by rolling up to the red, but the players have got to be a bit more creative about their shot choices at times.
Yeah, so a little bit of tippy-tappy play here. A slightly more aggressive shot from Mike. He'll be hoping that white doesn't drop in as it heads towards that top left pocket.
Yeah, Causier not interested in trying to go for the red because it's a difficult pot and there's no clear shot to follow positionally, so
although this time chance of a run through enough, I think, down the bottom cushion as we look here. Is it going to drop? That's quite an interesting shot though, because obviously he's left his white in the pocket. Mike doesn't really want that to go in because he's going to then have to find a safe space for both balls. So we might actually see him here not play a scoring shot. So he's tried to angle him, I think. Can't quite see that white if it's behind that jaw of the pocket. Dave's played the enough.
So a chance to Mike Russell. And he knows he'll need to run out here, reach 100 in one visit. He'll be looking to get the balls into the top end of the table as quick as possible. The white looks in a nice position. He can get in off it from hand. He may not be able to go in off and drop it behind the spot in one shot, but it's certainly a nice position to build a break from.
Yeah, I think he'll just push the red down and then drop cannon, but it looks like he's setting this here to run a few reds maybe in the middle. No, he's dropped it down.
And when the opponent's cue ball is slightly higher up table as we look towards the middle pocket, it can actually slide off the side cushion and go in nicely behind the spot on these cloths. As you can see, the white is heading pretty much on the centre line of the table there. So that's finished very nicely.
16.
A couple cannons here to follow, just to develop the position nicely. I think he would have preferred to be able to get through to the red here, but he was able to do that. Red first, in behind the underside of the white there, and if he's got an angle here, he should be in a very nice position.
Quite interested to know which cue Mike's using. Throughout this event, across the week, he's been using 2 different cues, and I believe he starts off with one based on the tip hardness. One's got a slightly harder tip on it, so maybe that's down to how much deflection he's getting on a particular table or how much push off. Maybe the taper of the cue is slightly different. But this is Mike Russell territory now.
29.
And he'll be expecting to run out from this position. You just knock this red in. Leave his cue ball slightly high for the recovery cannon, or correction cannon, I think Martin Goodwill calls it. And just push this white close to that red spot.
34.
This is the floating white form of top of the table that Mike Russell is renowned for. So called because the opponent's cue ball, the white in this case, is floating in an area behind the red spot. And the players are always looking to have the opponent's ball just slightly to the side of the red when it's spotted, because that allows the correction cannon to be made off the top cushion and restoring the white back closer behind the spot.
42.
Best top of the table player, Chris, in the modern day? Got to be Mike, surely?
I think so. I'm sure a lot of our viewers would agree, but please feel free to comment in the chat your thoughts. But yeah, he is renowned for the best top of the table player that there has been in the modern game. He was taught, well, one of his coaches, I believe, was Jack Carnham. He spent a lot of time with Mike. And Jack was a wonderful player in his day, well-renowned coach.
3.
to be a fly on the wall in that room, Chris, when he's getting coached by Jack Carnham. That would have been really interesting.
Well, it's interesting, especially the history of the game, because I believe Jack Carnham was coached by Tom Newman,
58.
and one of Mike's prominent coaches was Jack Carnham. So really, it's a connection to the golden days of billiards, as you could say, with the 1930s and that era.
Yeah, some bloodline, that, isn't it? Bit of history right there.
Yeah, there's wonderful videos of Jack Carnham that he recorded himself, and with Roger Davies as well, from the during the 90s, all about top of the table play, and that just gives you a glimpse of what Jack was capable of and the sort of things he would have been spending a lot of time with Mike at the table. And I think Mike actually made a 2000 break in practice. I believe that was with Jack. I'm sure someone can confirm that or correct me if I'm slightly wrong, but I believe that was the case.
69. 71.
Yeah, and the efforts they must have gone to produce those videos. Wasn't the digital age, it was taping bits of reel together and sending them off to be cut together. Big video cameras. So it's
76.
some effort to pull that off. Mike approaches the balk line warning phase of this break. And even though he's got these balls under control, Chris, it can get even tighter than this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it was interesting listening to
81.
Rob Hall and Peter Sheehan in the semi-final commentary, and they were talking about the fact that the target is 100 points, and the players are sometimes playing risk-free billiards, maybe changing their shot choices due to the format, making sure that they're not making any mistakes, maybe playing to bigger margin of errors, compared to a timed match where they're trying to set themselves up for 400, 500, 600 plus breaks.
Yeah, it's a very different mindset, isn't it? I mean, how often
86.
in a normal game would you come to the table and say, oh, I need 23 from here? You just don't do it. I guess that kind of creates pressure on yourself as well, really. Try not to take on, like you say, too many risky shots.
But it does seem to me that when Mike's in this position, you almost wouldn't know what format of the game you're playing, because although I'm sure can play tighter, as you said, with the control and the touch, it just does seem like the usual business for Mike. Whereas, for instance, with Peter Gilchrist, the guys gave a few examples there of how the shot choices that he played may have been dictated by the format. And the same for Dave Causier earlier as well. But in this match, it's
96.
Russell who's just crossed the balk line.
He's not played a great shot there. So he's looking for a Causier-esque shot here, I think, Chris, unless he's going to play the screwing off. I think that's the difference. I think Dave there would have maybe played the forcing cannon, where Mike's gone for the more controlled shot. It's gone a little bit awkward though. He still needs one scoring shot to level things up. Not sure if he can screw it into the middle or he's going to play the long Jenny. It is the latter. And there it is.
Yeah, that was an excellent shot to win the game. A short Jenny, sorry, long Jenny, I should say, of course, and that was far from easy. Quick turnaround in this format, straight on to game number 3. Of course, we say games rather than frames as the correct term, but that is essentially what it is. It's similar to snooker. Short games played over best of, and as we said, this is a best of 15 games. We just had a message in the comments asking for an explanation of the bulk line rule, but briefly it's a rule that's in place for World Championship events and other higher level events, where when a player reaches or passes 80 points in a break, they receive a bulk line warning from the referee, and what they will need to do is send their cue ball into bulk, across the bulk line. It doesn't have to come in and out of bulk, it can just cross the bulk line, going into bulk, and you have to do that before the break reaches 100, so they could be on 99 and pot the red and cross the bulk line. If that's their break, then that'll be the 102 break and the end of the game. But it has to be done before they reach 100. If they don't do that, it'll be a foul. It just adds an extra dimension to the game and to the breaks. Similar to the last game now, we've got the red in a very similar position, and now a period of safety play.
Yeah, he's left a bit of a tempt for the cannon here. Be interesting to see if Mike takes it on. He has, but it's just slipped off that side cushion. Slight chance for Dave now to play the cannon. Thin off that yellow onto the red.
Yeah, the in-off there was not the preferred option compared to the cannon, because he was able to move the red. A great potter is Dave. He did play in the recent Snooker 900 event in Reading, but he plays very little snooker, does Dave, but I've not seen him miss many pots this week, Darren, have you?
I haven't, no. He never really misses a pot, does Dave. And it was great to see him at the 900 playing, is it Jimmy White, Rhian Evans, On Yi from Asia, John Parrott. Flying the flag for billiards. I think he did himself proud, and he did us proud, so great to see him on that stage, and I'm sure we'll see him on there again. I think Pankaj Advani's lined up to be involved down there as well.
Yeah, it was great to see the snooker players there playing billiard shots on the pieces there, and I know Dave did a explanation of the rules and basic shots with Neil Folds there, so great to see. Not sure if he's got the angle here to run through on this red. He's just left it for the middle pocket cross loser. He had to play that with just a touch of check side. It was just slightly narrower than the natural half ball angle, but no problem. Dave's going to be looking to make it a double here at the SBI, having defeated Robert Hall in the final of the Irish Open. 702 plays 355 in the 90-minute final. Mike Russell was defeated by Rob in the semi.
Rob played really well in that semi-final, making 2 double centuries and a single. The highest break in that event was 517 by Dave. Rob Hall also had a 502 unfinished. Many other 400 breaks, 300 breaks, so very, very high standard across many players.
You had a very nice 240 break yourself, Darren, as well.
Yeah, I think he actually turned up for that game, Chris, but yeah, pleasing to make the 240. It's quite interesting because the game itself at that stage was fairly level. I was playing a local guy, Larry Drennan, but I got him down to the top, and I guess that's one of my strengths really, is top of the table play. And yeah, it went quite well really, so pleased with that. Something to build on, let's say.
So this is game 3, of course, and the first 2 games have been won with century breaks. 104 from Causier and 102 from Russell, so Causier's already over halfway towards doing the same in this game. What an incredible standard we're seeing in this final already.
68. 70.
We mentioned the floating white, of course. This is the postman's knock. For those that are not so familiar with this, it's another form of top of the table where the opponent's cue ball is tight or virtually tight to the top cushion, level behind the red spot or close to that. And the sequence is the pots and cannons, but the cannons are onto the top of the opponent's ball and you double kiss off that, with it being so close to the cushion. As you can see there, that was a double kiss. Causier crossing the bulk line at the first opportunity there after receiving the warning from Kevin Christie. Just got to be careful of this pot, he should be okay. Played it confidently.
Yeah, just digging down on it, so easy to get a bit of unwanted side. Push the red ball off. This looks like Dave's going to take the second game here.
91. 94. 96. 98. 91.
So 3 games and 3 centuries so far in this Macau Casino World Matchplay final. Great standard.
Fourth game.
2-1 to Causier. And straight into the next one.
Yeah, and there's going to be a change in the commentary box now as I hand over to our friend from across the pond, Mr. Peter Tankard.
Hello, Chris.
Hello Peter, great to have you here and great to have you in the commentary box. I know you've come a long way and had some travel difficulties, but you're here. And
Indeed. It's great to be here at the final of the 1995 Teesside Boys Billiards League.
Isn't it amazing that that league in Teesside, the Boys Billiards League, by the dedicated people that started it and kept it going, have produced so many world-class players.
Well, it just shows how important coaching is, and for all the coaches out there, thank you for all your hard work. This is not an easy game to learn. It's not a game that you can learn on your own. In fact, some people say it takes several lifetimes to learn, and both of these players have had the benefit of tremendous coaching over the years. You were talking about Mike Russell being coached by Jack Carnham, which indeed he was, and Jack Carnham in turn was coached by Tom Newman, one of the great players from the 1930s, multiple world champion, 2000 I actually never had a 2000 break, I don't think, but many thousand breaks. And going way back, Tom Newman was coached by John Roberts Jr., who was in turn coached by John Roberts Sr. So there's a lineage there which is important in our billiards history, and it just goes to show you how important that coaching is. So for all you coaches out there, thank you for all the hard work you do in keeping the game alive and kicking.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more, Peter. It's fantastic that there's people with such dedication to keep this sport going and pass on the skills and knowledge. Yeah, one of the things that I was told when I first started playing billiards is that it takes 10 years to learn.
I heard 20, but I've been at it for 50 and still have no idea.
But I've always thought that shouldn't deter anyone from playing, and because it takes a long time to learn, but it's very rewarding as you
absolutely
increase your breaks and learn new methods of scoring. You start off with the red ball game, for instance, and learn all your half ball shots and how they all work, and then progress. You start playing more top of the table, for instance, and yeah, it's a wonderful game to play and to learn.
Well, I think in many ways it's a better game to play than it is to watch, because even watching requires a certain level of knowledge and experience to have even a basic understanding of what these modern masters can do. And we've had quite a tournament. It was a late finish last night in what could best be described as the Royal Rumble. We had the Prince of Pune, as Pankaj is often known, against the King of Billiards, Mike Russell.
Yeah, it was an amazing match. I really enjoyed watching it. We've not seen too much of Pankaj Advani play as well in the World Billiard events in recent years. Of course, he does play in a number of IBSF championships with great success, but it's great to see him here. Of course, he reached the final last year, did Advani, and lost in a deciding game finish to Dave Causier. But this format really does have the potential to see close, exciting finishes. Obviously, you don't get the big breaks that we're used to in a traditional timed format, but that will always be there. But to attract new viewers, and obviously if the game was to potentially be played on television, I think this format is what would have to be featured prominently, I believe.
Yes. Well, it's a lot more like a frame of snooker, isn't it? There's a bit more drama in this. There's, I like to think it's like the difference between one-day cricket and Test cricket. The purists will always prefer the longer format of the game, where big innings or big breaks are made, and we see the full skill set of both players on show. But certainly this format has drama. It has quick action. These guys are knocking over a game in somewhere between 8-10 minutes. And so far it's been one miss billiards, hasn't it? You make one error, it's all over.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, you can see from the break counter there under the scoreboard that Mike Russell has won one game so far, but had a century break in the game that he won, and also a 70 break in the first game. So he was well ahead there, but Causier ran out with 104 unfinished. Causier won the second one with 101. Well, Causier won his second game with a century, and of course we also saw Mike make that 102, as I've said. So, and he's in again, 72 points on the board with a 70 or 75 now, and he's on that score in terms of his break as well. So he'll need to cross the bulk line if he runs out here.
Yes, for the viewers, if you see that the break and the game score are the same, then there's a balk line crossing coming. But if you just scored 2 points, for instance, then you won't have to cross the balk line on your second visit.
77.
Look at the use of side off that top cushion just to direct the white to exactly the right spot.
80.
Yeah, and
They're
he's
so close here. Sorry, Chris. They're so close here. You might see a trademark Mike Russell shot, which is to graze off the other ball and barely move it.
yeah, judging the check side off these cushions is not easy because the ball can slide a lot. Don't always get the grip due to the way the cloth reacts, but as you said, Peter, he's certainly in very close control here.
I think if you put a step counter on the two cue balls, you would probably find that David's ball travels twice as far as Mike's during any given match. Mike's known for keeping close, tight control at the top. Watch this off the cushion. Gentle nudge on the outside of the white ball to project it back towards the spot. Genius. And a shot that if Mike didn't invent, he perfected, which is the 5 cushion balk line crossing. Now, Chris, may I compliment you and the team here at WBL for putting on what I think is probably the best tournament on the calendar. Triple header, Irish Open, World Matchplay Open, and following that an IBSF event. So for all of my compatriots from far away visiting one event, make it this one.
Thanks, P. Yeah, it's been a great tournament so far, and like you say, there's still a few more days of top quality play with the IBSF event, but we get great support from the SBI Academy, of course the team at World Billiards, and Angus McAnally has done a fantastic job as the tournament controller. Not just all this time spent here, but all the preparation that goes into the event, many trips from Dublin to Carlow to finalise everything.
Oh, that's a problem.
Mm.
The pot white is not an option in this game. And also thanks to Macau Casino, who are the sponsors for this event. And the good news is that one doesn't need to travel to Macau to visit this fine gaming establishment. One only has to go to Cork. So the Macau Casino is one of the leading venues in Ireland for entertainment, and it stays open till 6 a.m, I'm told. So for all you night owls who are looking for something to do.
We've also had a great amount of support from our team of officials coming from as far afield as Australia, Korea, Belgium, Austria, all around the UK, of course the Irish referees as well. So even though it's a short format, there's long hours of match play during the week, so they've done a fantastic job. And when you're the referee, as you know, Peter, you can't switch off, can you, and sit in your chair and watch the other player. You have to be on it all the time.
You look at Kevin Christie move around the table. He is just constantly in motion. I'm surprised that Angus hasn't attached a broom to his belt buckle so that he can sweep the floor on his way around as well.
So as you said, of course, we've seen that Mike potted Causier's cue ball. So this now brings the modified rules into play. So effectively this is now an open table when Causier comes back to the table. you can play from in hand on any ball, whether it's in bulk or out. So
17.
it's not so easy to find a safe space on the table for those two balls, but I think Mike's achieved that fairly well.
Especially against David, who can make shots from anywhere like that.
Yeah, 2 good recovery shots there. If he can get this slow thinning off into the middle pocket, he should be able to set up a drop cannon. And like with the pots into the middle that we were talking about earlier, that in off there was not as easy as it looks.
No, very hard to judge that angle from in close like that. Looks like the red's just gone a little too far. He can easily go in off it, but it's going to have to go back to the D. I think when he pots his red, he can leave a recovery cannon from the red onto the top cushion and underneath the yellow. I think it's not gone too far to the side to prevent that shot, so it should be okay. Although he has gone a bit too short for that, Yes,
I think.
he would have been 2 inches higher, would have been better.
22. 24.
Got such a quick billiards brain, doesn't he?
Yeah, it really doesn't take Dave very long at all to see the shot. And when he's on the shot, it's normally 1 or 2 feathers at the most, and delivery.
Well, in snooker, they say that a quick player will play it. You know, Ronnie O'Sullivan plays around 22 seconds. Dave plays about 11 seconds a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. One shot flows very quickly into the next, doesn't it? Dave's just doing a bit of work here.
He calls this chasing the balls around the table, and there's no one better.
38.
Yeah, the aim, of course, is always to try and get back to the top end of the table, the floating white sequence, but sometimes, even for Dave Causier, it can take a few shots to achieve that.
Well, he doesn't seem to mind having them in the open, whereas the other players will take great pains and risks to keep them at top, whereas Dave is quite comfortable in the open.
Just got to be careful with this enough not to pop the yellow as well. You can play it thick to avoid that, or I think that's
That's what went wrong, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think he would have missed that if playing it as a standard half ball and off, but in that case he needed to play it thicker, as we've said, and he'll be disappointed at that. Yeah, Mike doesn't seem too happy with the position here, but yeah, that's a good shot. He was able to just screw past the white and then leave enough for cannon.
Well, no balk-line crossing required here, Chris. Both of them have a score on the board now, so if he can get them into shape, he can run out without that extra complication that comes with the balk-line crossing. Oh, that's a miss. That's not a good miss. Can he wriggle in off the yellow off the cushion here? Best I've ever seen at that shot.
Where's the yellow going? Or thought it may have been knocked closer to the pocket there, but yeah, a couple of misses from both players, but this is, as you can see there, Mike looking on. No doubt thinking about the shot he missed, but of course what all these top players are capable of is putting mistakes out of their mind quickly, staying in the moment.
Well, I think this is probably the first tournament since the 1930s that you have five 1,000 breakers in the field.
Yeah, it really is incredible, isn't it? Of course, Causier, Russell, Peter Sheehan, who joined the 1,000 Break Club very recently in March at an English National Championship event at Landywood. And then, of course, Peter Gilchrist, who made a 1,000 break about 12 years ago here in Carlow at what was the venue we used previously for events, the Ivy Rooms, just down the road. And of course Pankaj Advani from India. So just amazing, isn't it, to think that
incredible
all those players were yesterday afternoon and yesterday evening were competing in the same room at the same time.
Well, they all featured in the quarterfinals, didn't they? What's perhaps more of a surprise is that we didn't have an Indian in the final four, given the strength and depth and power which is Indian billiards.
Yeah, that yellow has come out quite nicely. He can go in off this now, bring it up towards the middle pocket area.
One's a little short, but it won't matter because he can chip the red down into a drop cannon position.
29.
Yes, talking about the 1,000 breaks, we should of course mention that Peter Gilchrist has in fact had 2,000 breaks, first of which was in 2007, as Darren Taylor has commented there. So I believe that break was made in New Zealand.
Hamilton, yeah, Hamilton, New Zealand. And I believe Darren was there.
39.
I think I'm right in saying that the referee was Brian Harvey, who's sadly no longer with us.
I think that's right as well, and I can tell you that the table that it was made on, most people would struggle to make a 50 on. It was not great. It was ratified as an official break, but the cloth condition and the cushions were not great. But Peter managed to still knock in what is considered under the current rules to be the highest break of 1-3-4-6. which I'm sure is the pin number for quite a few billiards aficionados.
47.
I hope I haven't revealed my secrets there.
So Dave approaching the target here, just 6 more points needed. Just got to make sure he gets a good connection on the red here. Doesn't want to see this red go under the top cushion or anywhere like that, but he's done that nicely.
Beautiful.
56. And the fifth game, Dave Causier.
And just like that, it's all over again. So first to 8 games here will be crowned the 2026 Macau Casino World Matchplay Champion.
Sometimes you do see players take a quick comfort break to go to the bathroom and maybe gather their thoughts for a minute or two, but we've not seen that yet. Each game has started immediately, so fast flowing.
And unlike snooker, it doesn't take 5 minutes to rack the balls. It's put the red on the spot and you're good to go. So the concentration is intense and long term.
Yeah, and that kind of near the yellow went so close to the middle pocket, but thankfully for Dave it's stopped short, so...
Is he going to use the bump of the pocket to push that out to the middle? No, just chipped in.
Yeah, a bit fortunate there, I guess, for the yellow to stop exactly where it did and in a position where he can go in off it. But this is very quickly developing into a nice position.
Yeah. 13.
So there'll be a break, an interval after this game. It goes without saying that Causier will know the importance of being 4-2 up as opposed to 3-all potentially, so important to visit here that he'll be giving his full concentration to. You can get in off the yellow here and set up a drop cannon.
26.
Please feel free to join us in the comments. Tell us where you're from and give us a match prediction. And I'd be interested to hear also where you rank these players in the all-time list. I've seen some comments describing Dave Causier as the GOAT, the greatest of all time. I'm sure there's debate about that. All time is a long time in billiards.
So Dave Causier going very nicely here, 58 break. Now 61, he's started this break from scratch, so he will need to cross the bulk line if he's going to run out from here, but that warning will come of course at 80.
Now, Chris, when Rob Hall was in commentary earlier, he suggested that this, what we call the modified rule, should be implemented in all forms of the game. As a traditionalist, I think that might be difficult in terms of the record books and comparisons over time.
Yeah, it's a good point, and at WBL, where if I can speak, I guess, on behalf of our board, we're always looking at ways to make the game more exciting and more attractive to spectators and better for the players, so that's why we've brought the match play format in as well for the European Open that's coming up shortly. But yeah, it's the rules are very good. I like them a lot myself, and I think they do have a lot of advantages. I guess the casual viewer has still got to get their heads around exactly how it works and the ins and outs of that, with the first visit when you come to the table, for instance, when the rule applies, and obviously there's no miss, and what happens if you double bulk yourself and so on. So there is still some element of understanding that the viewer needs to have, but
yes.
But yeah, this I think the match play format's great viewing, isn't it? And
it is. It really is. I mean, last year's final with Punkosh and Dave was one of the most watchable matches ever.
28.
So 101 unfinished there. That's a great standard of billiards we are seeing here.
Incredible.
So 4-2 to Dave Causier over Mike Russell. We've seen a number of century breaks so far. That's 4 centuries, I believe.
Are we counting the last one?
And 4 centuries plus 5. Yeah, there we are. The breaks total have just been updated, so that's 5 centuries.
5 centuries out of 6 matches to 100. I mean, that's incredible, isn't it? It's literally, one mistake and you're dead.
And there's the draw that we've been seeing. What's your thoughts and observations on? I know you've been watching as well as playing in this event. We've seen some great matches, haven't we?
Well, I'm delighted for Rob Marshall, who made the semi-final. He didn't feel that he deserved to be in that company. I feel he did. He won his way through a tough draw against players with more experience, but he's a very accurate and precise player coming from that snooker background, and well and truly deserved to be in the semi-final, and took it to Mike Russell as well. He wasn't overawed at all. He got a few frames on the board and was competitive in every one of their games. The other 3 might have been predictable. Peter, Dave and Mike, all products of the Teesside Boys Billiards League, and they've been perennial finalists for a long time. But congratulations to Robert on making that semi against the King of Billiards.
Yeah, Rob's a very consistent performer, Rob Marshall. Great potters, of course, and yeah, he's had a great run. He did well in the Irish Open as well, so he'll be going away with a lot of confidence. But I think we're going to take a short break now. As you can see, there's a 10-minute interval for the players, and we'll be back with commentary when the match resumes.
Yes, and jump on those keyboards and give us your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
The magnificent Black Stairs Mountains, the perfect backdrop for a range of superb walks to suit all levels, from the long-distance South Leinster Way to a range of looped walks. Take the path less trodden through a timeless and unspoiled mountain landscape. The range of walking trails here provide the perfect opportunity to enjoy the challenges of Carlow's mountain treks or the peace of its woodland walks. Discover signposted trails in Kilbranish Forest, north and south, at the Scrathoes Bridge, suitable for all to enjoy. Immerse yourself in thousands of years of history and heritage. Uncover ancient standing stones, rock art, raths, dolmens and old settlements, while also offering fantastic views of the entire southeast region and further afield. Hear the land whisper with colourful tales of our people, past and present, making every visit to the Black Stairs Mountains a true highlight for walkers, hikers, nature lovers, bird watchers and hang gliders. However you wish to explore, there's something wonderful waiting for you in Carlow when you wander off the track. For further information, please visit www.carlowtourism.com. Feel inspired, feel charmed, feel free. The Black Stairs Mountains offer spectacular views in all directions, from green fields and yellow gorse to purple heathers and the blue hues of the sea. The Nine Stones viewing point provides an unrivaled vista of the rich and colourful Carlow countryside spread out like a tapestry before you. Here you can hear the land whisper stories of times gone by, of the 9 shepherds marked by 9 small stones who were lost there in some far distant winter storm, of the high kings and heroes of the 8 counties visible below, and of a distant shore as the coast of Wales shimmers to the east. One of Ireland's most spectacular views is waiting for you in Carlow when you wander off the track. Come and see it for yourself. For further information, please visit www.carlowtourism.com.
Hey, yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. Hey, let's see how you do under pressure. Give them a name to remember. Hey, a moment can live on forever. See how you do under pressure. Hey, let's see how you do under pressure. Give them a name to remember. Hey, a moment can live on forever.
We are delighted to be joined in commentary by the man himself, Rob Hall. Rob, you made a wonderful 502 break, which could have been 505, but you elected to go for the unfinished rather than the extra shot.
Yeah, that was in the Irish Open. I didn't fancy the last shot too much, so I did that really naughty thing of running the clock down for a few seconds without playing.
Yeah, it was only a couple of seconds, but and the match was effectively over well before then. But 502, fantastic break in control, really all the way. I felt.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling good.
We'll start again when you tell us.
Macau Casino World Matchplay Championship. 4 frames, 4 games to 2 at the moment, a possible 9 more still to play. Please welcome back your players, Mike Russell and David Causier.
Seventh game, David Causier to play.
Welcome back, and I'm delighted to be joined in commentary by the man himself, Rob Hall, who in the Irish Open managed a 502 break unfinished, and the U was important because you elected not to play the final shot, but that unfinished stands.
Yeah, I was guilty of time wasting for about 4 seconds there. I didn't want to play the last shot too much.
Well done. So I'm going to vacate the seat in favour of our WBL director and the tournament director here, star of stage and screen, Angus McAnally.
Thank you very much, Peter, and thanks for making the long journey from Australia to be with us here. We really appreciate it. So Rob, this is a very important game now for Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the standard's been incredibly high. I've been in the venue watching. It's not a tale of the scoring, it's actually a tale of the safety battles. Whoever seems to be getting the chance first in the game is running out with the 100, so it's not very often you would say that the tactical side of billiards is match winning, but it's definitely going to be that case today because they're both playing so well.
One big change I see, Rob, is that in earlier years of the match play, the balkline crossing seemed to cause problems for some of the players. They weren't just negotiating it as easily, but both these players, and indeed most people in the tournament over the last few days, seem to have a strategy now, whether it's a double pot off the billiard spot up to the centre spot and go in and out of balk that way, or just leaving the thin cut.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it depends on where you are when you sort of get towards 80 points. Depends on the angle on the red, if you're top of the table or not. Dave's playing it particularly well. He's playing quite a thin pot into the top pocket, taking the cue ball very close to the ball pocket. That ensures the avoidance of the 6 shot coming back round into the top pocket again, so he's setting it up beautifully. Mike plays a slightly thicker pot, and that's why he's getting a little bit closer to the top pocket, but they're both playing it very, very well.
A very important shot for Mike now, because he has potted Dave, which means under the modified rules Dave can play this red were it to stay in balk. So Mike will be trying to leave both these balls safe, or at least one of them tight on a cushion perhaps, to force Dave to create an opening back for Mike.
I think that was virtually impossible to get fully safe, that shot. Unfortunate to pot Dave's ball. This has created a nice opening now for Dave to get some points rolling in this, the 7th game. He'll already be thinking about that yellow ball. He'll be thinking about how he can rescue that, even at this point.
So playing to the half ball loser line to bring the red up the table, and perhaps a cannon off that onto the yellow.
Yeah, we're bringing this red back. He'll probably stay on the mid pocket losers for a while. One shot he has got here, he could pot the red, leave the cue ball on the side cushion, bulk side cushion, and play a half ball drop cannon from the yellow. I think that's what he's playing. This will get him too close to top of the table. So this will be a nice little recovery shot to promote the yellow back into play.
Little drag shot with right hand side now just to get over to the yellow. You see the side there just barely touching the yellow, controlling the red.
Yeah, I'm sure, as you've all seen, Dave plays a slightly looser style of top of the table compared to Mike, like most of us do compared to Mike, but it's very efficient what Dave does. It's arguably more of a simplified percentage kind of style of play. He doesn't mind the balls rolling a bit, so as we can see, he's a very strong potter.
Is it my imagination, Rob, or is Mike Russell's calmness and quietness actually permeating onto Dave? Dave seems to be a tiny bit slower than he normally is.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I had a little chat with Mike at the interval there, and I'm sure I'll speak for both players here. Once one player gets in the kind of position Dave is now, they are expecting to lose the game. And I think if you can resign yourself to that mindset, then it does actually calm you down in an odd kind of way, because you're almost not expecting to get back to the table.
In Dave's semi-final, I was really impressed with Peter Gilchrist's break-off. He played the double balk shot every single time. It's a high tariff. It has to be 100% correct, or you can basically lose the frame. He got every single one of them.
Yeah, there's not many players been playing that, but Peter had that shot nailed down for sure, and it does create huge problems for your opponent. I mentioned it earlier in the semi-final in the commentary. It's fantastic if it goes well. If it doesn't, it makes you look really daft really quick. But he was actually playing it from quite wide, the double bulk, and that was to ensure that he didn't get the two balls kissing outside a bulk and leaving one out. The downside with it playing wide, he was leaving his cue ball quite close to the corner pocket, which meant Dave had a big target to hit. But if you can, in this format, if you can perfect that double bulk break, it's a massive weapon to put your opponent in pressure.
Already 50 points ahead in this, the 7th game, and if he gets this drag drop cannon correctly, he could be well set to take this game.
Yeah, he's played that cushion first. He had the option of playing it direct, but cushion first. It means the red will come off 2 cushions instead of potentially and accidentally potting the red if he had played the direct drop cannon. So that's why I played it from wide and played it top cushion first. See, all he's doing here is just making sure he's got a scoring shot next time. He's purposely pushed the yellow to the centre of the table, so he's always got a loser off the yellow. if the red doesn't go quite right. So many options here.
3.
Just keeping those object balls central. Always keeping your options open.
And even though both players are playing beautiful top of the table, it's important to remember that they have virtually missed no long enough, so the running the red or the yellow game is really, really important. Everybody loves to be at top of the table quite quickly, but their in-off game is superb.
Absolutely, and they would have been good in-off players before they were good top of the table players. You're almost wasting your time trying to play beautiful top of the table if you can't play all-round billiards or the red ball game. You have to start with open play style billiards and get very proficient at that before you start concentrating heavily at top of the table.
Well, I've seen you coaching on a number of occasions, and one of your diktats is that you cannot just simply, when you're practicing, put the balls up for top. You have to earn it to get there, so start with either the respot situation and play to get to top.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not very realistic style of practice just to put the balls in perfect position. And as we say that, Dave's missed an unexpected in off the red there.
I think the only option for Mike here, I don't think he can get past to go cushion onto white and go in off, so he may have to just pot the white with the red.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can pot the red cushion first off the white. I don't think it's on. Oh, he's actually tried to angle Dave here.
That's a clever shot if it's worked. Dave may have to masse around if he can see it. No, he's completely angled.
So he's playing 2 cushions. He's playing a red first cannon. I expect him to hit the balls, but... Okay. So actually Dave missing and allowing Dave to angle him has resulted in a foul. I'm sure Mike will have these respotted. Or he's not electing to.
I'm surprised at that because he's left this as a kind of a forcing in off if he's played nearly full ball with loads of left hand side to get in off.
It's very wide this. He may even be looking at the cannon.
The cannon up to the white. Yeah, that was a tough shot now. I was surprised he didn't get over. And actually the respot, I mean, we often say you're guaranteed to have the 3 balls in play and it's a half ball loser to leave the drop cannon. I'm surprised at that choice of shot.
Yeah, I think the white being in such a good position once he had gone, if he had got the in-off red, he would have got to top of the table pretty quickly, but I think I would have elected to have them spotted there, to be honest.
3.
Well, this is critically important for Dave Causier now to take the advantage that's been handed to him by Mike. He needs to run out this game, just needing 17 more points.
He's taking the in-off yellow there. There's no way he'd have taken that unless it looked absolutely perfect for the half ball. He's forced himself into a long jenny here, so heavy right hand side to make the pocket play almost twice the size of what it actually is. So help inside into the pocket.
A shot that many amateurs find themselves playing, getting underneath both balls on the drop cannon, but Dave's normally very good at these in-offs. Yeah, just an unusual situation here, and he's left an easy starter for Mike. Now this is a good test. Dave just needing 11 points, Mike needing 98. This could be a turning point in the match.
So having played that shot, Mike has has got the white as a bit of a problem ball here. I think he's got enough red, but this is going to have to be played at very hard and very thin to try and flick it back out of bulk. And if that creeps out, that's a fantastic shot. I think that's in play. Okay, so he needs a good contact on the white here. He may try and bring the red back up the table to the other two balls. By doing that, there's less emphasis on good position on the white. He's now got the option of a cannon. He'll probably play a little screw off the white, bring the two balls back together again. Again, you're keeping all the balls in quite a small area, so position doesn't have to be perfect, because you've always got these options of these little screw cannons. Maybe pot red to leave in off. Again, super important to leave a good angle here. Looks thin, but he's down quick, so he fancies it. Oh yeah.
My word. We've seen more mistakes in this game than in the rest of the final put together, I think, Rob.
Yeah, I mean the standard on the first session was superb, wasn't it? I think
5 centuries in 6 games.
Plus a 70 from Mike in the opening game, which Dave ended up running out with.
Yeah, this is a wide cannon. He's got to screw it across.
Oh, the red's fallen nicely there for him, so a couple of in-offs and he's home. He's left it forcing, but he's got plenty of power just to pop this over to the corner pocket. I wouldn't expect him to miss this.
11.
It's quite amazing how wide you can make that ball throw with a bit of power.
Well, that could be a turning point, which I mentioned, but it's gone in the way of Dave Causier. I thought that Mike was going to get leveled or get to 4-3, but it's 5-2 now to Dave Causier, requiring 3 more games. So work to do for Mike Russell, but no better man to knuckle down now. He won't be phased by that. So again, a good break off, very important.
Yeah, Dave's phenomenally good at these up and down cannons, so he's played off 2, possibly 3 cushions. He'll play a little screw in off now. Screw right hand side, again using the side to make that pocket play big.
He's miscued. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't expect that, I must be honest. Not very often you see Dave miscue. Just trying to nip at the ball with the extreme side can create that happening, so
Mike needs to run the red a couple of times. This will come off 2 or 3 cushions to work the red.
So he's just going to play a few losers here. He's going to want to get that red up towards the side cushion, up towards the white ball there. And he won't mind taking, even as many as 10 hazards to do so. He will only take that shot on to leave the perfect position when he is truly happy. And he's got a good chance here. He'll possibly play this slightly thinner than usual. Instead of pushing it down the spots, he might. Okay, so no, staying on the red. Obviously didn't look quite right for him at that point.
Needs a good contact now on the white if he plays the cannon. He may just be potting red to get the in off white, but looks like the cannon.
Yeah, he's going to play to leave a Oh, he's played that direct and he's missed it. He's down very quick for the stunning off. This should be okay.
And has to make sure that the red doesn't collide with the white on this in-off and leave both of them in balk.
That was well controlled. The problem is, as soon as you push one ball into another ball, you are in the lap of the gods slightly as to where they're going to finish. He'll be trying to get this red up at some point for a pot red in the centre pocket to leave the loser off the white. Again, he may just spend a little bit of time here getting that red in the position he would like before he can comfortably play the enough white to bring that back into play. Again, that looks like he's got the shot now. He may come around just to have a look. It's more or less where the red is now. He would want to leave the cue ball. That'll leave a very easy half ball enough. Bring the white back into play. It's just a little problem solving exercise, this. That's quite often the case at the start of breaks. So he'll go in off white, probably leave another loser off the white into a centre pocket, and then he should be in full control of the table again.
I noticed some of the comments coming in on the YouTube channel of players that were here during the week. Mike Griffiths, who played very well and refereed also, who had a great week. And Jason Dowling, an Irish player, is actually here to referee tomorrow. Alex Dunn, hello to you. And Charlie Kane, a player who went back to Scotland yesterday.
Yeah, there's a few comments up there. Dom Halligan's up there. I noticed a name earlier actually that was earlier on the thread on the comments, and Dominic Mulhall, who was a player from Teessider, a bit younger than me, probably in his mid-30s at the minute. He was a phenomenal talent.
I mentioned in my introduction earlier on today about the importance of the Teesside Boys League back in the 80s, and the fact that just 3 of the many boys who came through that system were playing this week, and multiple world champions. Of course, Chris Shutt was another.
Yeah, Chris Shutt and Lee Largan as well. He won the RBSF Worlds. I believe he won that in India, defeating Geet Sethi in the final. So yeah, the Teesside Boys Billiard League has produced 5 world champions over the years.
And also here this week was Saurav Kathari, whose dad was a world champion. So I think it's one of the few Q Sport world champions of both father and son.
Yeah, Manoj Kathari, who was I couldn't tell you what year he was world champion, to be honest, but sadly we lost him a little while ago, so I'm sure Saurav will be fighting hard to win the RBSF next week in his father's memory. Manoj was the coach for the Indian contingent for a good few years, so I had the pleasure of meeting him many times, and a very nice guy.
51.
Well, now this should be bread and butter to Mike Russell. Perfect top of the table, and there's no finer exponent of just the gentle little cannon where he rolls onto the white ball using a trace of side to literally glance. I've often seen the white ball in this situation pivot on its axis almost.
Yeah, this is where it is best, isn't it? I've been watching quite closely his technique with my coaching that I do. I always like watching what the top players do. A very nice pause at the front and at the back, and a very, very deliberate delivery of the cue. The little traces of side are unbelievably subtle but are crucially important. If that cue ball is spinning slightly on contact with the second object ball, you won't get touching ball. They will always release from one another. And a lot of the time, that is the reason we play it. Sometimes we need to make the shot off of perfect position, but a lot of the time it is just to ensure that we don't land in trouble.
So Dave Causier's miscue proving expensive here in game number 8.
We just had a little clip of Dave there. He had his eyes closed. Sure, just trying to take a few seconds to zone out and gather his thoughts. Like I said earlier, he'll be fully expecting Mike to run out from here.
So Kevin Christie, the referee, will give Mike the balk line warning at 80 after this shot.
He will. Mike's now going to play the cannon from underneath. He'll bring the white up towards the red, just to one side, and he will try and leave the pot, the next shot, across the balk line. There we go. He's played that slightly thinner than usual, just to make sure he's got the angle for this pot. And you see where the white is, to the one side of the spot. It now doesn't matter if he had made the 6 shot by accident there, with the white being to one side, he would always have the cannon from in hand. And that's why we try and just send it to one side rather than keep it directly behind the red.
89.
Yeah, we've seen that so many times when the player has postman's knock position with the cue ball directly behind the billiard spot, and they unfortunately get the 6 shot, and they're faced with either a very difficult kiss cannon to try and make the shot and keep the break going.
Yeah, absolutely. It can sometimes look like a player's played a bad cannon when they're trying to set up the balk line warning, but it is, again, it's just to reduce the risk of lining them up. So Mike now will just pot the white and run out on the red. Pot white. 3 hazards off the red, and it's going to be 5-3 in Dave's favour. Just want to make sure the weight on this is correct, just to drop onto the half ball line. He's a little bit inside, but that's good, because he'll play this nice and slowly. He will leave the red roughly around the pyramid spot to leave a very comfortable loser from in hand.
99.
He's underhit it slightly, so this one needs forcing a little bit, so just need a little bit of care on here. Under a bit of pressure, often easy to overhit these and throw them a touch wider. Okay, he's hit that very thin. Surprising miss there.
White Russell, 99.
Well, you called it, Rob. Amazing the pressure at this game when you're trailing. This would surely be a test of Dave's composure now. Will he take the long pot on, hold for the red to the opposite pocket?
Yeah, Mark, I mean... well, balls are going close to every pocket there. So easy pot white for Mike now. Mike was arguably a little bit fortunate. The fact that his ball ended up so close to that side cushion.
2.
That could have gone anywhere, and allowing Dave to hit backwards into balk on his opening shot. It's not bad.
So it's Dave Causier leads 5 games to 3.
9th game, Dave Causier to play.
Well, he wasn't expecting that at all. Just tried to play the safe shot, and that's a bit of a disaster potentially. So he needs to either pop the red and run it a few times to get safe, or try and live a good safety shot here.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? He's gifted Dave the red, almost in the hope that the safe yellow is going to save him in a few points' time. Dave will be very tempted by the screw cannon here, I'd say. He'll send the red round the table back up to the bolt pocket. That means the perfect cannon is not... Well, that's so interesting.
A second miscue.
Miscued again.
That's extraordinary. I don't think I've ever seen Dave do that.
So one you can forgive. The second, I dare say it will start getting into his head. So he may be a bit wary moving forward, using extreme spin.
Wow. I think the pressure is getting to both players, Rob.
Yeah, it's quite early on, isn't it? That's a nice shot from Dave. There was a risk there of potting the yellow, but he just managed to catch it thin enough to push it over the pocket. So again, you see here Dave's ignoring the very, very easy in-off yellow, and he's working the red so he can try and get it into a pottable position. So he's working the balls here just to get a safe, risk-free route to top of the table. He may just drop this red. I would bring it back, but in doing that he's forced himself into playing a drop cannon. But it's the perfect angle for one. You see how the red is offset from the centre line of the table? That means he won't get a cover at the spot. So he's good now.
And I'm sure he'd just be a little bit rattled by those two miscues, so with perfect top now, he really should and does need to run this out and establish a 6-3 lead, which would mean he would require only 2 more to retain the title.
Yeah, I think Mark let him off the hook a little bit there with that missed loser into the middle pocket. But Dave is at the top of the table. There or thereabouts, anyway.
I tell you what will be interesting, Rob. A lot of the time Dave likes to play a deep screw on the pot red to come out off the side cushion to get high for the next cannon. He may just be a little bit wary of that, having had 2 miscues. It may temper his thought process for the shot selection.
I would say so, definitely. He'll be a little bit wary here of using heavy spin. It wouldn't surprise me if at the end of this game he may give that tip a little bit of attention. Maybe a little rub with some sandpaper to break a few fibres up. Miscues often happen when you've got compressed chalk and they're almost like a shell-like layer on the tip. Just meaning you don't get the friction you need playing the heavy spin shots. So he's got the balls in a nice position now. Probably a loser off the yellow to leave a drop cannon.
He does play those so well. I think you all do. The ordinary amateur player ends up with the yellow on the side cushion or whatever, and again the drop cannon, perfection there. Yellow behind the billiard spot and the pot perfectly on. So virtually halfway to the total here for game number 9.
Yeah, he's got him in good position. Just be minding his business now, not to leave anything too nasty. Trying to play the balls into a friendly position.
Well, I'm going to hand you over to Peter Tankard, who's going to join Rob in commentary.
Back again, Rob. Angus has other duties. He's a very busy man this week.
Indeed he is. He's done a fine job in running these last two events.
Always does.
58.
Lovely comment there from Paul Collier, who's at the Crucible at the moment. He's also a director at WBL.
61.
So Dave needs another 35 points.
63.
In very good shape, isn't he?
Yeah, played that little in off there, just enough speed to bring it out for the drop
65.
cannon.
We wouldn't expect him to break down from here.
No, he just had a little glance in double kiss there, which, if that was any thicker, that may have been a cover, but it was thin enough just to let the two balls release enough to allow him to get past to pot the red. Again, this is just a very top of the table in its most simple form for the next few points.
Rob, do you think, just as an outside observer, David seems to get an incredible run of the balls? Is that luck, or is it half engineered or fully engineered, or how does that work?
Depends who you ask.
I'm asking you. Because you've been on the suffering end of that more than once.
Yeah, it seems to happen a lot of the time, but you know, he lets the balls run a little bit more than other players, so there's obviously more chance of things happening. But
he just seems to.
There's a
no matter where the balls run around the table, they finish up good.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, there's a skill into what he's doing. He's always pushing the balls, even when he's using power, into kind of friendly areas of the table, get them in the corners of the table where you've got choices. I think we saw that earlier on in this match where he played a cannon and pushed the red into bulk to try and pot it to cross the bulk line. He missed the pot, but he played the all-round cannon back to Mark's yellow ball, which was up near the top pocket. But the fact he pushed the red where he did, it always gave him that option. So.
Well, I think you called it at the time. You said it's a pot and cannon, and he missed the pot but made the cannon.
Yeah, so you back yourself in positions like that when you only need a score. You play 2 in 1, which in general is not a great thing in billiards, but when you only need a score, it's a fantastic thing.
Rob, did you change your break under this format of the rules and get the red more centrally on the table?
Yes, I did, yeah. Almost trying to force your opponent into potting your ball, so when they play the up and down cannon, you're trying to leave the angle, which means they will come very close to potting your cue ball. That's a beautiful pace of shot play there by Mike.
Yes.
Could have quite easily left that in bulk, but that was super control. I mean, the break's massively important, isn't it? We spoke earlier about Peter Gilchrist playing the double bulk and playing it extremely well.
He got everyone he played for. What would you think the normal odds of that shot are? 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10?
I'd say probably quite a bit higher than that, but
well, a surprising miss.
I don't know if you felt that red just dropped with the nap to that far jaw there.
Muttering under his breath.
He left it awkward enough for Dave not to have a go. 2 cushion cannon here off the white, I'd suggest.
With running side.
Yeah, right hand side, just to open the angles up. Nicely played shot. Not out of the woods yet.
So, if Mike was to win this, I think I'm right in saying he would have won World Championships, including match plays, in every one of the last 5 decades. His first in 1989 in Lura, in Australia.
Yep. I'd say you're absolutely correct there, Peter. I think in the Blue Mountains, Laura.
It is, yeah. It's like a
New South
resort
Wales.
town.
I went to visit the in spring last year. I went up in the Blue Mountains and visited the billiard room and the resort where that championships took place. And interestingly enough, they've still got the caricatures of all the players that took part on the wall in that billiard room, even to this day.
Yes.
So, beautiful part of the world up there.
I was actually there for that match.
I didn't think you was old enough, Peter.
Oh, absolutely. And Mike was 20 years old, which must have been such a shock for the established players of the day, who were Robbie Fulvari, Ferreira, Eddie Charlton, etc., to have a 20-year-old kid come along and win. And playing Peter Gilchrist, at that time 21, in the final.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, could you imagine that today? Some kid walks in you've never seen and cleans up.
No, it'd be unlikely, wouldn't it? But I think I'm right in saying that Mike went from boys billiards, if you like, at the age of 16, 17 to turning pro. So no experience of the kind of the men's amateur game, if you like, in England, but he was regularly contesting in the mini prees of those days, the 80s and 90s, as a teenager, as many of the top players did. Indians, Robbie Fulvari, I know, played in many when he based himself over in the UK.
Yes.
Based himself at the ATAC Centre, snooker club, which at the time was owned by Dave ATAC. That's in the West Midlands over in England. I know Robbie speaks very fondly of those times and those events. And the Indians also used to compete in them from time to time. But that's where Mike and Peter cut their teeth, if you like. Kind of their background, their apprenticeship to becoming the players they are today.
Well, it speaks volumes about longevity in billiards, doesn't it?
Okay, got a wobble on the off there from Dave. Again, first glance, this doesn't look
Nothing
massively
obvious.
friendly here. We've got middle pocket, looks like it could be in play for a one cushion cannon. You may just be able to get it if he hits just before the middle pocket on the cushion.
You're right.
Almost using the top spin there to arc the cue ball off that first cushion just to bring it back onto the red. So that's just an example of power control, just using enough arc to collect the red there. So the red is not where he wants it, but the white's friendly, so he'll just be working this into a position where he can play some sort of cannon involving the red. I'm a little bit surprised he played at that shot, but that's okay. Just mind the double kiss, that's so probably a little bit thinner than he might like. See how he used a little bit of side there?
Yes.
That was just to make sure that he hit the correct side of the red, because he
This
was
looks-
using that thinner contact. This pot looks exceptionally easy on the screen, but when that is on the cushion, that is not nice.
Are these star-made tables the tightest you play on?
Yeah, I think so. Although we're very used to them now, so it's not so much a shock as what they might have been in the early parts of when I was playing. Personally, I've got a Riley Aristocrat table, but they're played quite similar to the Stars. They're the old championship table of the WPBSA. You'll just drop this in for another loser off the red, I'd imagine. No point when you're using the spider, you just keep things as simple as possible. Lots of choices now. Just had to make sure there that he didn't push the red into the yellow. If that happens, you can't pinpoint where the balls are going to go, so just keeping things central on the table here.
Causier, 10.
A few misses cropping up now, so
A couple. Concentration becomes an issue over this length, doesn't it?
it does, yes. I think the break after every 100 points, it just gives you that little. Although these guys are getting on with the next game very, very quickly. I don't mind taking a couple of minutes just to compose yourself and wipe your cue, take a sip of water, toilet break if you need it, just to try and collect your thoughts and reset before going again. But they're not.
Ooh, jumped up on that. Didn't like it.
4.
Just makes it.
I think that probably just drifted a little bit thick.
Bit fortunate there. Touching ball. It's compulsory respot.
Yep, and you'll see here that all the modern players, or the better players these days, play this really quite slowly to leave a drop cannon.
Off 2 cushions rather than 3.
Yep. Well, the old textbooks from the billiard books from years ago would always say play it off 3, but in the conditions we play in these days, there's such a slide off the first cushion that object ball hits, that you run the risk of actually making a 4 shot if you try and bring it round off a 3rd cushion.
Yes.
It'll go 2
Potting
cushions,
it in the middle pocket.
go very close to the middle pocket. And 4 shots a disaster in billiards.
10.
Just needs this to kiss. Oh, it's not too bad. He was looking for a second there, he could have gone into a cover, but
12.
beautiful example there of control with side. Just a
Well,
mini
little
masse
message.
here. Very gentle.
14.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful shot.
Just nice touch there.
Of all the players that you've played in the modern era, how do you rate Mike?
19.
Well, for me, he's the player that I've tried to base my game on. I try and play like Mike plays, which is not easy because he's so damn good. But and I'll put my neck out as saying I would say probably all players that are playing these days are probably trying to emulate Mike. Most of us have been lucky enough to see him live play. If you haven't, probably on YouTube, but he plays with the utmost control,
27.
and he's so deliberate in the way he goes about, and so self-critical as well. You'll often see a look to the heavens or a shake of the head when he's appears to be in perfect position, but it's just a fraction out from where he intended to be. That just goes to show his expectations on his own game, I suppose. But there are other, there's other wonderful players, isn't there? Pankaj obviously, and before that you had like Geet Sethi, whose postman's knock at the top of the table was just beautiful.
Another 1,000 breaker. I think Geet was 1251. Is that right? Most of it postman's knock.
1246, I think, but I can't quite remember. But made in India. Mike actually holds the record break for with the billiards with the book line crossing. That was 9:57, made in Harrogate.
How long ago?
I'm not sure. I would say probably late 90s at a guess. I saw some billiards boss on the comments will tell us in very short space of time.
Right. If Peter Ainsworth or David Pitt are watching, we'll hear in short measure.
48.
So he's looking in good shape here. Just minding his business, keeping things simple. You don't have to be perfect on these 100 up games. You've just got to get to the points without doing anything daft and getting yourself into trouble.
Greetings to Andy from Winnipeg.
We're going to Winnipeg in August for the Vimy Ridge and the Pan Am Cup. Great bunch of guys over in Winnipeg.
Great bunch of guys. And they love a barbecue.
Some real characters over there.
Yeah.
Rick Kendall.
Yeah, what a character. Kevin Augusta, who's a lot of fun. Gary Marshall. Lovely guys.
Yeah, they do a lot of organising over in Winnipeg. They do a lot of fundraising in the year running up to the events they put on, because they're not cheap to put on these events. So you need a good amount of funding, and if you can't get that from your associations or federations, they do a lot of charity work and a lot of events to raise these funds to make these events happen. So they've got their own organising committee over there. Big Guy Smith's heavily involved, terrific organiser.
71.
So Mark's now he's closing out this game, 15 more points. Perfect position. There's been a few missed shots in this one, so Mike closing the gap to 2 to 6-4 behind. He'll feel like he's maybe dodged a couple of bullets in this game to take this one. See some comments here from one of Mike's very good friends, Billy Bowersfield, up in Stockton-on-Tees. He's been friends with Mike for an awful long time, and he's saying here that he's done amazingly well this week.
He really has.
7 years approaching coming out of the game. Last shown in Melbourne in 2019. Around about the October time, so it's great to have Mike back. Closes the gap to 6-4, and already he's breaking off for the 11th game of a possible 15. Billy's put up here as well, 26th of November 1998, 957.
That's
the bulk line crossing record held by Mike. Steve Jones from Winnipeg commenting. We can't wait to be back, Steve. Join you guys again in Winnipeg. Dave is so very good at those cross table cannons.
Seldom misses one.
So Bit of a safety shot here. Quite clever. He's tried to.
Shoot.
He's tried to force Mike into thinking about potting this, but he might have left a cushion first enough here. So that's in bulk. So we're going to be looking at short Jenny, pot red in the centre to leave loser off the white. Again, just solving these little problems that crop up in the game or mid-break.
Look at the spin on that ball, just to suck it in off the far jaw.
So he may just have a little glance here where he wants to be. Using a reference point. I mean, he's okay, he's going to play the loser, but he'll have a good idea where he would like to pot this red from in order to leave that loser off the white ball.
8.
Use reference points here. Where do you want to be in relation to maybe the centre spot or the line between the centre spot and the white ball? So it's just working the red. Again, we'll see these as kind of 3 points. They're not. He's got an objective what he wants to be, but all the time he's just stealing 3 points every strike of the cue ball. So
he really wants a pot red, doesn't he, to set up this
yeah, he's got it now. Look,
in off white position.
He wants an easy pot. You see, he wants to play it like more or less a full ball stun without having to do much with the cue ball.
Yeah.
Make the pot as easy as possible. That's why he took a few extra losers off the red there, just to get the ball in the position he requires. And now we can do everything with the utmost control.
Very missable, these mid pockets, aren't they?
Yeah, you've got to be a little bit careful, haven't you?
On the stars especially.
I find from my coaching, a lot of Achilles' heel for many billiard players are the centre pocket pots.
Yes, well, when you see these guys miss them, you know they're hard.
Tough to judge this angle from here, but he may just be able to play a thin slow enough to leave the drop cannon. Probably play it with drag just to hold the cue ball up.
21.
You're a good judge, Rob Hall.
Been around too long.
23.
Well, I'm going to swap myself out here and reinstall Chris Coombe, who will be joining commentary shortly.
So Mike in and around the top here. He's got a nice thinning off. He has to play fairly hard to get that red moving. So that's a nice shot.
26.
He'll play loser off the red into the top pocket to leave a drop cannon coming back.
Hi Rob, it's great to have you here in the commentary, and I think I've been watching in the arena there, and Dave's obviously started to miss a few there, and this is an important chance here for Mike, isn't it, really, to get back to 6-5, especially if it goes to 7 for Dave. That's obviously only one chance away potentially from a victory for him.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. You don't really want your opponent just needing 1. The longer you can leave him 2 away from the winning line, you feel like you've got a bit of breathing room before you have to play absolute perfect billiards. But Mike will not be phased at this. He'll be relishing the challenge.
37.
Just got to mind his business a little bit here.
29.
It's an interesting comment from Alex Don in the chat there, and I'd be interested in your thoughts on it, Rob. It's something that I've noticed from watching Mike in the arena this week, and that is the fact that he doesn't actually seemed to get down fully with his chin on the cue. He's just slightly off that. Is there a reason for that, do you think, or?
I have mentioned it to Mike before, but I think it's just how he feels comfortable. If you're delivering the cue as you wish and you're sighting the balls correctly, then I suppose there's no right or wrong. Textbook would have it as incorrect, I'm sure, but I don't think you can argue too much with this guy and the way he strikes the ball. He's got such a beautiful, deliberate pause and a very strong delivery push through of the ball. It really is fabulous cueing control.
Yeah, wonderful to watch, and he's over halfway now towards the target in this game.
Yeah, he's in good position. Again, I keep saying it, but Dave will have resided himself here at losing this one and just being one in front. If that doesn't happen, then it'll be a bit of a shock to him, but he will be sat there ready to pounce. He won't have switched off. Important to try and stay in the zone when you're in the seat, because unexpected things can and do happen. So you've got to be ready to go if that occurs.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for Dave to have had a couple of miscues as well. It's not something you normally see, and I guess that could potentially affect your confidence.
Yeah, that's right. He's it will be on his mind a little bit. I mean, I don't know if he gave his tip any of attention there in between the games, but they only seem to be giving themselves a handful of seconds before getting going. I think if it was me, I'd be having a little look at the tip and giving it a soft rub with some sandpaper to rejuvenate it a little bit.
Yeah, I noticed that in the first session. There's been very few toilet breaks in between games. It's pretty much been one go straight on to the next, hasn't it? Which I guess has its advantages and disadvantages depending on what the state of the game is.
Yeah, I think if it gets any closer, you might find slightly longer breaks. You often do in deciders. Yesterday with Peter Sheehan and Dave, they both took a minute or two before starting that deciding game. It's just all about composure, making sure you're comfortable, making sure you've got everything you need. It's a beautiful butt-line crossing there. Again, as you see where the white was before he played it. It's off to one side. Edging your bets all the time, just in case that 6-shot happens.
And how far in advance are you thinking about the bulk line crossing then, if you're typically in this position?
Well, probably late 70s, if the balls were looking in good shape and you've got full control. I don't mind crossing it, you know, when the first good opportunity comes. So probably a pot, I would say, for game. Awkward cue there, but okay, it's getting interesting now. 6-5 Dave Causier. Mike's taking the last couple.
Yeah, I think both players there missed a few shots they were expected to get, and prior to that I saw Mike was unhappy with some of the shots he was playing, but that will do him the world of good, I'm sure, and like I say, it's very interesting now.
Yeah, Mike can be unhappy with what can seem like the perfect shot. He set such a high standard for himself. He'll be a bit disappointed with that break because that red is a big target over that corner pocket. That's a great shot. There was a slight risk there of potting the red, but he's got just a glancing kiss. You won't mind that. Yellow's in a good spot. You'll see here we'll play this cannon in very, very simple form. Not worry about the yellow ball. All about the red.
Yeah, that's not a time for the wide cannon would run inside, is it? That's the, like you say, making sure a nice thick contact on the red as he has done.
Yeah, his choices. So chip away. Another drop. Although that looks quite wide. Take a loser off the red here. You'd have been hoping for a slightly more central yellow ball there.
15.
And if this bounces, he'll take one more slow loser off the red. He'll just kind of float this down to table, just a slow half ball to leave the drop. Beautifully played. You see how he's brought the red a good distance off the top cushion. By doing that, you'll prevent the switching of the balls. You know, where you drop onto the red and the white finishes on the top cushion and the red bounces up. Often leaving a screw cannon or a pot red in the centre pocket.
22.
So it's just scrapping a little bit here. Play this at power to bring the red back up to the top pocket. Trying to push the yellow for an option in the middle as well.
Yeah, so a chance now for Dave Causier to make the perfect response to Mike's 100 run out in the last frame, or the last game I should say. And just a reminder, this is a best of 15, so first to 8. So if Dave was to complete the game here, then he'll only be one away from victory.
Yeah, he's just leaving the yellow there, because that's just a little banker if the red doesn't go quite as planned. You'll probably see enough yellow here. You see how that red didn't quite get back, so he just always had this as a backup. Oh well, that is a very surprising miss.
Causier.
Very surprising. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, didn't expect that at all, like you say, and I guess Mike would have not expected to be back at the table there, but I know he would have been focused and ready.
Absolutely, this needs some nice cueing here. Well, that's a nicely struck shot, that.
3.
Very, very solid. Drop cannon. And now he's got these balls in good position, he'll just be kind of mentally preparing himself for a decent visit here.
5.
Once those first 3 or 4 shots of a break, they're the ones that you can often miss. You'll see these guys, if they don't make 100, they probably won't make 10. Once they get the balls roughly where they want them, they're generally running out. And that's the same in timed format as well. The first few shots of a break are often the most difficult and the most tough to control. If you start getting them in a good place, then you've got control of them. You can take a bit of a deep breath, and then you go down to business and start constructing breaks at the top. Just needs that red to bounce. That looks like a Jenny position. Thick enough here. Just played that with a little bit of check to stop the wide throw, but that's by catching the near jaw first, it's just prevented the cue ball from dropping.
And with the modified rules in this format, obviously there's no pot on your opponent's ball, which would have ordinarily happened there, so slightly different thought processes with the safety.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the rule, Chris. I mean, I would love to see it brought into billiards full stop. I'm sure some will argue the other way, which is fine. So Mark just tried to play a cushion first cannon there, but caught the double kiss. It's not a great chance for Dave here, but you'd expect him to score off this. Again, it's about these next 2 or 3 shots. He's played that nicely, got it roughly onto the half ball line. You have to take this in and out of bulk, but I could just play with a bit of side. Surprising how wide you can get the cue ball to throw at a slow pace on these cloths. On many tables you wouldn't be able to do that with the side, you would have needed power.
And would you say there's run inside and offs like that one with, if it was much wider, you have to be careful not to catch the red too thick on these cloths, I guess, with the push off.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I suppose that's where a player needs a full understanding of the way the cue plays. You've got to understand exactly how much it pushes off with side and at what power. I think it was this morning that was quite interesting that Mike sent somebody from the venue to his hotel room to fetch a different cue. When they returned, he just used a different cue for the rest of the match.
Do you know much about what sort of cue Mike's using with the tip size and sort of weight and so on?
I don't know. I know the other day I spoke to him about what cue he was using. He said it was just a mid-range Maximus, which are a Thai cue maker, quite a popular maker. But I think somebody said earlier it looked like he was possibly using a.
24.
Well, that's a bit of a slice of luck for Dave there. Mr. Loser, and he's hit the 2 bumps of the pocket and come across for the cannon. If he plays this and gets this, he's.
Causier, 24.
Oh no, he's missed it. So he didn't make the most of his little bit of fortune there. So going back to Mark's cue, I think somebody mentioned he was using possibly a Burwatt Champion replica at some point. He's always been one for changing cues and searching for something in a cue which he feels he needs.
Yeah, I certainly don't think it's the first time that I've seen Mike change cues mid-match. I've seen it happen before at Leeds, and I guess that's in response to maybe how he's playing at the time or the conditions.
Yeah, I would say conditions, like we mentioned earlier, deflection, the stiffness of the cue can be a big factor in how much the cue ball pushes offline when used inside. Heavier conditions can you may change your cue. There's not many people that do it, but Mike's always been very comfortable with
10.
chopping and changing cues to suit him at any given time. Tip size, he used to use.
12.
He used to like, I think I'm right in saying, 10 mil, possibly even bigger at certain stages of his career. I'm not sure what the cues are that he's got with him this week. I'll use a 10mm. Poor eyesight is the reason.
7.
I can't see a smaller tip.
So Mike back in great position here. Recovery cannon underneath the white will be coming up shortly.
Yeah, just nudging it up. Nudging it up for the cannon, which will be 2 shots later. So there we go. Just play a slow thin pot red to leave the cannon coming back.
25.
It's a very, very familiar little sequence at top of the table. Tried and tested.
27.
So that's an interesting shot. You see how he's played that at speed, because he wanted a thin contact. And he wanted a thin contact because he didn't want to push that white away from that centre line of the table. By playing it thin, he's kept it very close to the red.
Three. 35.
Again, just going up that little bit higher to leave that cushion first cannon. This is just a repeat of what happened previously, obviously on the other side of the table, but it's the same process. Just bump the white up to pot the red to leave the cannon coming back.
And I noticed when Mike was, he may have done it today, but I certainly noticed it yesterday in the practice shots that Mike was testing the bounce of the red off the side cushion for that recovery cannon.
Yeah, you don't want... The thing is, you don't want a kind of a big bounce on the red, because you don't want to be leaving straight pots. If you get that little bit of a bigger bounce and you leave a straight pot, you have to then screw back across the table. If you wanted to stay at the top, obviously you can leave the 369 position, but... So that white ball now is just edging towards Postman's, and you see how he's gone further up the table with the cue ball, just to make sure this cannon is on without having to stun it.
55.
And there's no surprise there that Mike's come away from top. He's definitely the greatest exponent of floating white top of the table in the modern era, and he's never been a massive fan of Postman's. I'm sure he could play it really well if he wanted, but he much prefers floating.
Yeah, incredible touch and control. Looks so easy, but as I'm sure anyone who's played this game will know that it's just so much skill. It's concealed.
Mike Russell, 61.
I really didn't see that coming, Rob.
No, I'm not sure if what's happened there. Looking at where the red's finished, I'm guessing the cue ball may have just turned up slightly and got too thick on the red. I mean, the pace is playing shots. Finger marks can cause that when you're playing shots so delicately and slowly. So maybe a kick. Maybe we think it's a kick. Dave having the red ball cleaned. So
Yeah.
that could be a big point there if Dave runs out this and goes 7-5. It's a whole different game.
Yeah, big difference between 7-5 and 6-all, isn't it, at this stage of the match?
But you can see straight away how Dave just lets the ball move that little bit more.
16.
It's just his own choice, his own style.
18.
Not quite as honed as the as you might think as the the Mike Russell pace that he uses
21.
and the touch. And see, Dave really quite likes Postman's knock position, so you won't find him lifting this yellow off the cushion from here. Needing just another 23. 46 break gets him to game.
26.
That's just come up there. It's just left the cannon a little bit thinner than probably he would have liked. I'm sure he'd have loved to remain at Postman there actually, but
31.
the position has forced him away from that.
33.
Little cushion cannon here.
5.
Yeah, you can't see it going wrong from here, can you?
No, just be interesting to see how he plays this.
38.
So he's actually played for the loser off the yellow. Just needs to control this. This looks a little bit wider than what he might like. That's well played. Just getting it back to the centre of the table, keeping his options open. It's a good place to play. If he'd underhit that, he's got the drop cannon. If he overhits, he's got the cannon from the other side. So massive margin of error playing it that way. So the simple drop cannon now. Probably play it a little bit harder than he usually would.
46 and 12 game, 10 call.
Yeah, had to come away slightly from the top of the table, but no problem for Causier, and that puts him just one game away now from victory. I'm not surprised that he's taken a quick break at this stage of the match. In fact, both players have.
You see Mike put his cue down there, and he's I think he's gone out for some fresh air. He knows now Mike's got to play some flawless billiards if he wants to take 3 in a row, which is what he's going to need to do. You are relying a little bit on your opponent missing 1 or 2, or hoping you might get the rub of the green to help you out. Big factor here is going to be the break-offs. He doesn't want to leave Dave an up and down, an easy up and down cannon that's going to gift him an opportunity to take out the match. So yeah, so first real break for the players here, other than the scheduled interview. Dave will be really anxious to try and get on with the match, because he's just stolen a bit of a lead here.
But just thinking back to last year's World Matchplay final when Causier was 7-5 down to Pankaj Advani and ended up winning the last 3. So it can be done.
Oh, it can be done, for sure. Like you, Chris, I was here last year watching that in venue, and the way Dave he just threw caution to the wind and went for everything, and it worked out for him. He ran right in the last 3 and took the win. It's very impressive against such a class opponent as Pankaj.
So this year he finds himself on the upper end of that result, just needed 1. Mike Russell, of course, trying to claw back these last 3 games, take it to a decider in the process, and we know that Mike's focus will be intense, as will Dave's, of course.
Yeah, I mean, Mike knows. He's just outside now, just giving himself a couple of minutes, just composing himself, because he knows now that he can't make a mistake. Ultra high levels of concentration needed now, particularly for Mike.
11th game, Dave Causier, 13th game.
He's got a good red there. He's made that red a fairly small target. Wonder whether Mike will try the 2 cushion cannon. Oh, he's gone 1. Extreme side. Whether he hit that a little bit thin and he was going for 2, I'm not sure, but he's left. Possibly a forcing off red, or possibly a forcing cannon. So this is Dave's chance. We see Mike there. He's just hoping now. I'm afraid he's just hoping that Dave will slip up.
Yeah, when you're sat in your chair, there's nothing you could do, and could that be his last shot? But still plenty of work to do, and obviously in this case with the yellow where it is, you'll need to recover that position.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just going to stay on this red until he's got the perfect opportunity to go in off in the most likely the centre pocket at some stage to push the red towards the yellow.
Well,
I think that's come up. He may take this opportunity. Or he might take a couple more into the same pocket.
15.
See how he's played that much thinner than what you normally would do. He hasn't got it there, short on pace, so he'll just go through the same sequence here. Most likely a pot red to leave the crossing off, to leave the mid pocket loser to try and get the red over to the yellow. And he's gone straight down for the pot. That's quite interesting.
18.
But same thing, same difference. Just back up on that cross loser line. Just been asked a question here whether Dave has ever beaten Mike in a world final. My initial thought on that, I think he has, in a short format event at Leeds at the Northern Snooker Centre. I think I was there that day. I think it was a game of great quality with
34.
Chris Coombe next to me. He's just doing a bit of research to see if he can find the answer to that question.
I do remember that match actually. I believe it was 2016, and I'm not sure if it was a final, but I will. I'll have a look.
I think it was a final because I can remember the two players making a speech and Mark saying, "There's nowhere safe on the table when you're playing, Dave."
44.
So break reaches 44, 56 needed. I don't think there's anything crazy going to happen that Dave's going to take undue risk here. I know I'm like a stuck record, but this format and this short games, it's just making a very simple break of potentially 100 or there or thereabouts.
Why?
There'd be no desperation to stay at top of the table if there's easy options to drop away and come back.
60.
So he's left a little stun cannon. He'll probably go thick red to bring it back round to the top pocket, or round to the other two balls, waiting for it. Just playing it into a friendly area where he knows he's going to have options.
64.
Yeah, I did see Causier did beat Mike in the semi-finals in 2016. Whether that was the only encounter, I'm not 100% sure. And then Causier went on to beat Struff Sitwala in the final. That was the 100 up format, but there has been 150 ups in the past.
Yeah, Dave beat me in a short format final, and I think that may have been 150 up. That was at Leeds. Got beat 6-1. I felt lucky to get one in the end.
69.
So there's room round the back of this yellow. It's just got to be careful.
71.
Okay, so that red's just rattled, and Dave's coming around to have a look at it, but very quickly decides against it.
Yeah, if it went on a bit further, he may have been able to get an off it, but not from that angle. You can see it's not great for him.
Yeah, I want to play a loser here. We want to try and get this fairly close to bulk, without the risk of pushing the yellow into bulk. To leave some sort of screw cannon would be my guess.
75.
See how he's played that a little bit firmer than he usually would, just to get him in the ballpark. He's got the choice here. He can screw or he can play the one cushion. The red's a big target. He may even play short Jenny to leave a more central yellow. Now that leaves a much easier screw cannon.
Just to add to Dave Causier's workload here, he's going to have to consider crossing the bulk line shortly, but
That's a fair comment. He might have been better off taking two 2 or 3 more losers off the yellow before playing this.
79.
That would have crossed the baulk line. So he'll play a bit of a stun 1 or 2 cushion cannon here. Oh, he's hit that thin. Oh wow. Okay. If he's on this in off, that is a huge slice of luck. We'll need this to bounce. I don't think it's going to. Okay, so he's got to clatter this red now at speed. Not trying to score off it particularly, but trying to move it away. He's missed it.
Causier 84. White Russell 2.
Yeah, so in the modified rules, Russell can now play the red if he wants to, from in hand.
He's just double checking there with the referee before he plays it. For me personally, I never had this situation in any match this week, either for or against me. So the in off white must look nice from in hand, otherwise he wouldn't have played the 6 shots. He'll play this, just chip it back out to the centre of the table.
And what would be going through your mind now, Rob, if you were Mike, because you know full well that any miss, and if you leave a shot, it could well be the end.
Yeah, I mean, he knows the score. You know, he's been around long enough. He knows what he's got to do. That's a nice shot. He's played that a little bit thicker with a tracer running. That white where it was slight risk of a 4 shot there, or some people call it the pair of trousers, where both balls go in the pocket. So he's actually controlled. Not an easy shot. He's controlled that nicely. I'm not sure if the thick run through's on. You'll be hoping it is, otherwise it's going to be a tough pot. Yeah, well, that's a nice shot. Again, just dropping that back out to the half ball line for the in off. You won't particularly want to play a drop cannon onto that white. He would love to take an in off white if he can. Even if it means going in out of bulk, I think he'll play this. That's a nice shot. He's played that really thick to keep that, to stop the white spreading to the right hand side of the table as we look at it. He's kept that nice and central to leave a drop cannon. The white's much more central than it was the shot previous, so he can safely play this now.
22.
Looks like this has gone a little bit tricky though.
Yeah, he might just... Well, screw cannon, okay. Big target for the red, so...
24.
Nicely struck. He'll have half an iron that white at this point. Now he's got a really good red. If the white's very simple enough, he'll play it. He may play it very slowly to try and leave it at the top. If not, he'll just bump it back out to the centre of the table. Yeah, no real interest there in trying to hold it for the top. But they're in good shape now. He's got the balls under control. So like we were saying earlier, he would have been resigned to probably losing this match a few minutes ago, but he's had an unexpected chance land in his lap. Well, that's gotten a little bit awkward, I think. Not sure if he can force this. Looks like he's trying that. Ah, deceptive camera angle there. I thought that was a lot wider than what it actually was.
Yeah, it certainly did look slightly wide, didn't it? But no problem in the end, and he seems to be going quite well here for the minute. Not quite in perfect position yet, but staying at the table is the most important thing at this stage.
Yep. Probably play pot, I think. I don't think the cannon's going to interest him. Just doesn't want to run too far and leave the cover. He'll play this fairly thin and fairly hard, I would say.
45.
Okay, thin cannon wasn't on. Had to be the run through. Oh, that's landed awkward. I think he'll probably play half bulling off and just bump the white off the side cushion to leave the drop cannon.
40.
Bit pacey, but he's okay. He likes playing these very thick with heavy check, just to manipulate the line of the white, just to try and get it to the spot. That's a really, really nice shot. He would be trying to decide now whether he can get enough side at slow pace to play red cushion white. If not, he'll play something a bit more simple without the risk.
52.
I was hoping for touching ball here,
Touching ball.
and he's got it. That's a little stroke of luck, maybe.
He'll be relieved at that, I'm sure, with Kevin declaring a touching ball there.
He's played that well. Players can sometimes miss that shot in that situation because they weren't expecting to have to play it. He's just landed in this sticky spot here where the cannon's very thin and the in-off's not quite on. He's going to play this thick, I would say.
56.
And he went thin. That was always kind of going to be the outcome. He was the position dictated what he had to play there.
58.
That's a nicely controlled shot. He may play this thick and just bump this out to the centre line, possibly leave a drop cannon. At worst, a loser off the white. There you go. There's the thick shot just to get it out. Play this slow. Red off one cushion to try and leave a pot.
62.
Yeah, making absolutely sure it doesn't lose the red and see it go underneath the top cushion, but
Yeah, you just forego the perfect white in that situation.
65.
But as it happens, it's fantastic. So thick white first cannon.
67.
He's going to have to play. I was just looking at his tip there. Obviously not happy with the contact, but should be easy enough. Little screw right hand side. Well, that was beautiful, beautifully played with the rest of that touch.
yeah, very nicely controlled. Wow,
White Russell. 69.
can you believe that?
Just that hamper cueing was just enough. Whether he's just put a little trace aside on that bridging over and she pushed it offline, I'm not sure. But
Big moment that for sure.
yeah, I think that's. I'm saying that. Where's Dave pushed this yellow to? Okay, yeah, he's just going to pot and run out on the red now.
Just 11 more points needed then for Dave Causier to defend his world match play title.
I can't. I'm so surprised he's played that, but it's finished in a good spot. So see Mike a little shake of the head there. He'll be oh wow.
Nine.
It's quite clear that Dave's feeling it, because these balls are not going in the centre of the pocket. But
yeah, he's having to work for every point here, right until the end, which
yeah, he's good. Yeah,
could well be coming now. 5 points needed.
and Dave's successfully retained his World Matchplay Championship title. There's been some very close matches on his run to winning, but he's done it, and he's a deserved winner. I think we've all got to say well done to Mark on his return to the game, and he's shown that he's in good touch, and I'm sure he's looking forward to the RBSF next week. But congratulations to Dave Causier, the 2026 champion. Thanks guys, thank you.
Yeah, big thanks to Rob and all our guest commentators. Well done again to David Causier there, defending his Macau Casino World Matchplay title. Great to see Mike Russell back, and he's done so well considering that he's been out of competitive play for so long. But there you see there, the champions Dave Causier, and the presentations will be up very shortly. So do stay tuned.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible final we have just witnessed. Two of the finest cueists the world has ever known, reunited, both from Middlesbrough, both having started in the junior leagues together, both having become multiple world champions. We will have the presentation to those players very, very shortly. I'd like to welcome a gentleman who will present the trophies on behalf of the sponsors, and that's the president of SBI and the vice president of the IBSF, Mr. Jim Lacey. Jim, thank you so much.
Thank you, Angus.
First thing I want to do, Jim, and we'll have a few words in a moment from you, but I want to present the Salmon Engineering Challenge Cup was on during the week, and the game was still going on after the final of the Salmon Engineering Irish Open, so we never got a chance to make the presentation, and I'm delighted that you will present the runner-up first of all. It was a great match, and the runner-up was Srinu Katipogu. Congratulations to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
How have you enjoyed your time here so far?
It's a super tournament.
Yeah. You hate your opponent, but you did well to get runner-up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Congratulations.
There as well. Around the back.
Well, last year I believe he was the runner-up, but this year he has gone one step further. Will you please welcome the winner of the Salmon Engineering Challenge Cup, Mr. Subrat Das. Congratulations to you.
Congratulations.
I think you also had a 95 break, which was the high break in the championship as well. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Next year you'll win the Irish Open.
Definitely.
Okay.
Well done.
Congratulations. All the way from India. Thank you so much. Just want to acknowledge the incredible referees that we've had here for the Salmon Engineering Irish Open and the Macau Casino World Matchplay. Referees who've travelled from all over the world to be here with us. It does make such a huge difference to the players to know that you've got great referees. The first referee, a lady who came all the way from Korea. Would you please welcome Jenny Choi. Congratulations, Jenny. And you were telling us that it's very difficult to get billiard balls in Korea. We'd like to make you a gift of a set of balls to bring back to Korea. Thank you so much. Jenny Choi, ladies and gentlemen.
Well done.
Congratulations. All the way from Austria, a proofreader by day, a man who knows how to spell and how to look at a document and see whether it's right or wrong, Mr. Christian Fock. And he's proofreading his sleep, so he's not here, so we'll send that to him. In fact, no, we won't give it to him. He's disqualified now for not being here. A gentleman I had the pleasure of sharing a room with for 2 weeks in Bahrain. He's the lightest sleeper in the world. By his own admission, if you move sideways in the bed, he will wake up and say, "What is it? What you're doing? I'm trying to sleep." Will you please welcome Mr. Peter Adrians, all the way from Belgium. Congratulations, sir. He also has the best collection of oil T-shirts that I've ever come across. Castrol and Mobil Oil and all Texaco and all these various different ones. Thank you, Peter. Thanks for being here.
Excuse me, Angus. There was one that was moved surreptitiously to the side. So we have a certificate here for Angus McAnally. So, come on.
Thank you. A gentleman who refereed the World Championship long up in Landywood a few months ago. A lovely referee, Mr. Steve Harrison. Congratulations, Steve.
Cheers.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steve Harrison. One thing I hate is when people make generalisations about race and people talk about Australians being loud. This man is an Australian referee. It's not true. They're not loud. They're louder than that. Mr. Paul Cosgrave. Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you.
There you are, Paul.
Thank you.
We appreciate you coming halfway around the world and had to reroute 3 times.
because of Mr. Trump.
Thank you so much. Well done to you. One of the great things we've seen in Irish billiards over the last while is the increase in ladies playing, and it's something we welcome and we're delighted. We're thrilled as well that they've also become involved in refereeing, so we're thrilled to have Stephanie Foley here as a referee. Thank you, Stephanie.
There you go.
Thank you.
Well done.
Stephanie Foley, thank you so much, Stephanie. One of the best things I witnessed in the after, when we would be having food later on in the evening, was a conversation between a loud Australian talking in Australian accent and a guy from the north of Ireland, Keith Savage, talking away. Look at there, you see, what thing about it? Look about that's where about that way. You see, because they're a foul. It's a foul. So the two of them were talking to each other. Neither had a clue what the other person was saying, but in the spirit of camaraderie of billiards, they thought it was wonderful. Mr. Keith Savage. Thank you, Keith.
There you go. Thank you.
Well done to you.
Thank you very much.
Yep, a foul. It's definitely a foul.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Also, he looks after the ladies' championships for us in Landywood in October, so we're very grateful for that. Speaking of the ladies, a wonderful woman whom I had the pleasure of working with for 2 weeks in Spain recently at the EBSA in Gandia in the freezing cold Spain. We think it was going to be warm and sunny. It was absolutely freezing, but she was absolutely fantastic. Victoria Jędruszek. Victoria loves refereeing, but she hates being seen on the screen. She actually asked Sam, our streamer, where is the best place for me to stand not to be seen on the camera?
Yes.
You were brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you.
And while I mention it there, we have had fantastic coverage with multi-camera shoot from a one-man band. He's an extraordinary guy. If you blink, you might miss him because he's quite short, but he sits over there for 14 hours a day, mixing every game that we play. I'd like to hear it from Mr. Sam Jones. Sam, thank you, Sam. One of my best friends in billiards in Ireland, a man who has devoted his life to billiards and cue sports, who has a meticulous handwriting, who does recording of matches. I've said to you all before, please ask him to show you a copy of how he records the oar and the pot and the cannon, and he can do a 2-hour match onto one A4 sheet, and it's absolutely beautiful. He has been there as a support to me at all times. I could not do it without him. The brilliant Brendan Devlin. Thank you so much, Brendan. Thank you so much. Thank you, Brendan. And finally, to the man who was looking after the final today, he's an airport collector's nightmare when he goes through these scanners. He sets off alarm bells. The police come from a bit. It's just incredible to watch him. But anyway, a very enthused man who plays a good game of billiards now. He used to be a basher, and now having watched everybody play gentle, he now plays gentle billiards. And I wish he would play more in the tournaments because he's a lovely guy, a great friend. I've known him since he used to. We'd be going up the hill. We live close to each other, and I'd be in the car and I'd break all the rules. I'd wind down the window. He'd be on his bicycle and he'd put his hand on the bar, and I'd pull him up the hill in the car. When he was 13, and now look at him, he's 32. Mr. Kevin Christie! A man who's the quietest sleeper on tour as a referee. He has woken up entire floors with his snoring, but he's a great referee. Kevin Christie, thank you, Kevin. No. So thank you so much. A big thank you to our losing semi-finalists, Mr. Peter Gilchrist, who played such a fantastic game, and Mr. Robert Marshall, both of whom have left the building. So our runners-up are the semi-final losers, Robert Marshall and Peter Gilchrist. And so to the final. I think we were blessed to have the great, great players playing the beautiful game. In the first 6 games, there were 5 century breaks. Incredible.
The standard was magnificent. It was extraordinary to watch it, to breathe the same air as these two guys. Particularly delighted to welcome back after a break of 10 years, and I hope that he will regularly be seen on the world stage, because when you are a genius, when you're of the gods, when you play the way he plays, he needs to be here and needs to be seen. Ladies and gentlemen, the runner-up for the Macau Casino match play, the brilliant Mike Russell. Mike, well, come in here. Mike, what's it like to be back?
Well, it was good till today. It was like a tsunami warning when Dave plays. Do you know what I mean? His all-round game is incredible, and especially for 100 ups. I tried my best. I thought I played well. I missed a couple, but against that guy, you just can't miss a couple. Against most guys, you can, but
it's a really tough format, and I think like one mistake can be fatal. At least in a long up, you've got a chance to come back in for the second hour or half an hour.
For me, that's billiards. It's enjoyable to play in, but it's nerve-wracking as well, because 10 points can feel like 1,000 when you're playing this game, you know. So.
And how do you find the modified rules, being able to play?
Well, it only happened once. It only happened to me once in the whole tournament, so the modified rules are all right by me.
And Peter Gilchrist double balked Dave every single break, it's a high tariff shot.
Yeah. He's got a better cue action than me. He can put them in balk, you know. I'm scared. I'm scared to do that.
Well, Mike, we are thrilled that you're back.
Thank
Please
you.
come and see us again, because we need you and want you on the big stage. We'll try and get the prize money up to make it worth your while coming from the Far East. Okay. But we love you here, and it's fantastic to have him back. Mike Russell, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Mr. Peter Tankard, who was doing a lot of commentary for us today, just did a quick bit of search, and I'm led to believe that our winner today, this was the first time in a world final that he had managed to beat Mike Russell. So it was a joy to watch. You don't care who wins when the standard is like that. It's just of the gods. Absolutely fantastic. I'm just having a look here at 2019. 2022, 23, 24, 25, and now 26. The winner of the Macau Casino World Match Play, David Causier. Well done.
Well done, sir.
There's a rumour he may smile now at this stage. We don't know. David, a million congratulations. You had to draw on incredible strength and reserves in the quarterfinal, in the semi-final, and then in the final.
Yeah, I think that match was tougher than both the quarters and the semis, because, like, let's all be honest, it's great to have him back. It's like he's playing top of the table. He just rolled back about 25 years now. I'm sat in India and watching him just ram top of the table, and the white doesn't even move. His touch and his game is unbelievable. And obviously everyone's over the moon he's back, and we all want him playing, because he's what everyone aspires to play the game. He's just unbelievable, the best player ever. I'm just buzzing to have beaten him finally in a final.
How much has it taken out of you the last couple of days?
Probably quite a bit, but it's worth it in the end. I thought I played quite well in the first session, and in the second session he just put me under it, and both missed a few, and then I was just glad to get out of it, to be honest.
Well, you need to keep your reserves for the IBSF tournament, which starts tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Yeah.
We do it all again.
Cheers,
Well,
Jim.
Dave, heartiest congratulations. You're a deserved winner of this. You put in the work, and as Mike very generously said there, your all-round game is fantastic. And I was speaking to Peter Sheehan earlier on, who said with Dave, you have to play no miss billiards. You just cannot afford to miss. Your shot making and your top, and you surprised us. I was doing some commentary, and you missed a long and off. The first one I've seen in a week.
I missed a couple when I was under the cosh. I thought they were going to cost me, and nearly did. But yeah, are you allowed 2 in a week, aren't you?
Your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Causier. Yeah, everybody move on. And a huge thanks to Macau Casino, our sponsors, and to Paul Salmon and Salmon Engineering for the Salmon Engineering Irish Open as well. We need that very much so. And next up, we'll be in Vienna for the Belgian, or for the Austrian Open and the European Open. And just to let you know, the European Open will be played under the match play rules. Sorry, CW's giving me a thumbs down. You don't like the match play rules? You do? You don't? You don't have the time. You don't have the time. Have you the inclination? Okay. Thank you again to PJ, to Jim, to everybody here at SBI. I hope you've enjoyed your time here, and we'll see you over the next couple of days for the IBSF.
And I would just like to say on behalf of SBI, a big thanks to everyone in World Billiards. We want to welcome you back again. A big thanks to PJ and Shane Gorman and Conor Doyle, who have looked after the venue, who have looked after the tables and done a great job here all week. So I think the three boys deserve a good round.
Well done. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. That's it from WBL here at the SBI Academy in Carlow. See you in Vienna.
See how you do under pressure. Hey, let's see how you do under pressure. Give them a name to remember. Hey, a moment can live on forever.